Hello everyone, episode 4 of the Drop Dead podcast, joined with Hackney's own Will Stowe.
Yes. What's happening?
James Lassie as well.
That's a calm intro. I had a little bit more written down, but
Go on then. Outdo us. Show us up.
Human, Londoner,
Let's go.
poet, artist, your face of Snkrs Live,
Go.
Will Stowe.
Okay.
Welcome to the pod.
Good to be here.
I'm going to stop doing the intros.
He's esteemed. He's an esteemed
Yeah,
guest.
he is.
He needs a big. He needs a big intro.
I appreciate it.
Back with the Drop Date family for a.
Yeah,
we got
man.
you for another.
Full circle.
We got you for an hour or so.
Yeah,
Full circle moment. It's good to see you.
What's your hourly rate though?
What's my hourly rate? I can't really talk about it on camera right now. I've got to talk to my manager about that one, you know. Talk to me later.
I don't think we could afford him these days.
It's great to be here, man. Regardless, I think it's nice to come back to, you know, feels like where the foundations were being laid, you know.
I hear you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I think anyone that's been through the Drop Date is always family, and you know, Reese is the same. You know, and you again. You know, we all see your family, and we always like to see where you go. We knew you were destined for big things.
No, I appreciate it, man.
Your talents were way bigger than the Drop Date. So.
Now, do you know what? One thing I got to say though, Drop Date was very real with me. I don't know if if anyone remembers. Yeah, so obviously I write poetry, so creative writing is small, sharp, or whatever. But Drop Date is really proper writing. So I remember maybe the first few bits I did because I was on the.
So if we just give us a timeline when you were with when you started with Drop Date,
and 2017 maybe.
I think so. Yeah,
2017. Yeah. So I was
it's so blown. What office were we in?
Here, just upstairs. Yeah,
you're upstairs. Yeah,
just upstairs. Yeah. So I just wasn't at Present no more. Ben's come over. I was like, "Yo, what are you saying? What you doing?" I was like, "Nothing right now, bro." So whatever you got, I'm down. So started doing that. He was like, "Yeah, you can write." I was like, "Okay, cool. Whatever you say, bro. No problem." So I think I did maybe 3 or 4. It was alright. Spelling's not the greatest. Grammar's not the greatest either.
That's what spell check's for.
Yeah,
right?
literally.
Yeah?
So then I think it got to a stage where it was just bad. And then I remember Nat.
Yeah.
Was just really honest and was just he's not cutting it, man. This is not maybe where his talents lie with long form writing. And I really appreciated that. I was like, you know what? Ben was like, bro, it's just not good. But I think we want to put you more on production and creative side or whatever. And that's when, Generation Work started forming as well. But I hate if you're messing up and someone doesn't tell you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You need honesty.
Let me know.
You need honesty.
Do you get what I'm saying? And that was a very pivotal moment in growth and understanding where my strengths and weaknesses were.
So back then, where were you in your where was your relationship with sneakers at that point?
So I think growing up in Hackney, I'm 33 now. Most kids who were born in the 90s, you just grow up Reebok workouts, Stan Smiths, 95s, BWs, Air Max 90s. These are just bread and butter things that you see. And obviously then you got Prada's America's Cup, couple Gucci shoes here and there, whatever. So you're naturally woven into the culture of what we'd call streetwear, Stone Island jackets, all that kind of stuff, whatever. So I wouldn't say I was super connoisseur and I knew all the years and stuff, but I knew I loved fashion, I knew I loved streetwear, and I knew that having good kicks on feet was something I loved. And then my older cousins, they really were those guys kind of thing or whatever, who had all the new pairs or whatever. But I guess as I got to college, I started meeting people who were wearing Penfield, and they had the Stussy jackets on, or they had Penfield Maharishi Razzle Dazzle jacket or whatever it was. And then I'm okay, cool, there's collabs. That's crazy. I didn't even know 2 brands could work together that. Then I'm seeing MF Doom dunks, and I'm oh, that's mad, that's sick. Then I'm seeing okay, cool, this is
okay. Yeah, so music's a part of this now. Fashion.
Do you get what I mean?
Together,
I'm oh, it's not separated. It's all together
Mm-hmm.
basically. And that was really amazing. And I started going to different stores, hearing about things, but maybe a bit too late. I think I found out about a lot of this predominantly from a friend of mine called Agostino. He used to work at 1948. Real top guy.
Yo.
He's a legend. He's a madman, but he's a legend.
I completely forgot you were
friends. Yeah.
I love his podcast.
He's the man. He used to have a blog back in the day, which was wild, very, very wild, because he was part of BNTL at the time. And essentially, if we're being honest, BNTL was the basement before the basement. It was a thing, kind of thing. But he kind of took me under his wing, when we went to church, and kind of showed me what Supreme was, what 12 Bar was, what 10 Deep was, all these brands that kind of foundation of all these things. And I remember he told me about Bond International, and they had what was this, Tenderloin.
Okay,
Like, yeah.
Japanese,
Yeah.
Japanese
Yeah,
brand,
yeah.
Yeah.
So just so many brands, and it was just like opening my eyes to all these different things. And then it was just like, okay, cool. Now you're out in the world, start finding what you like and what you're into, basically. So I think at the time, hundreds was like a really big thing.
Yeah.
So I was like very much on that kind of
Crooks
stuff.
and Castles.
Crooks and Castles.
Yeah.
Like I remember I went to like Maryland for the first time when I was like 18, and there was like a big Potomac Mills.
Hold on. Here's the trip to America. This is everyone we spoke to. The turning point is a trip to America.
No, it changes everything.
It does
bro.
change
Yeah,
everything.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah, it changes everything.
Yeah.
A little clarity moment. So I stayed with like one of my mum's really good mates. She was so lovely, man. Like she was amazing. And a couple years later now, her son started playing American football, but he was like this tall at the time. Flipping huge now. He just got flipping signed to the Jets.
Whoa.
As a tackle, which is
That's
crazy.
sick.
Defensive tackle.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy.
He'll have grown now.
Yeah, no, he's huge, bro. He's huge, absolutely huge. But yeah, absolutely insane. But that was a great time. Went to like Potomac Mills. There was loads of like different outlets. I think I got like a couple Stussy tops, maybe some Levi's jeans that might have been salvaged at the time. It was like a real eye-opening moment, you know.
When was this?
This was like 2018 now, fast forwarding.
Yeah.
No, not 2018. What am I talking about? It was like maybe 2013, 2014 or something like that. Yeah, something like that around those times. But yeah, it was like things I'd never seen before. I was just like, wow, and it's cheaper as well. That
First
really
time I went to America, Stussy t-shirts were $19.
No way.
And they were in like Macy's.
Well, do you remember that period where like,
Macy's
it went
and
into
Penny's,
like
they're in
Urban Outfitters?
Urban Outfitters,
Yeah, and it was
yeah.
like, it was kind of a little bit kind of thing.
I feel like when that happened, I was too naive to almost realise what was happening.
Yeah, we all were. It's
Yeah.
just like, yeah, this is gravity. Do you know what I mean?
And then you still, I don't know, you still see some of those old graphics and tees kicking about.
Yeah,
on
the
eBay,
first
Depop,
Stussy t-shirt I ever bought was the Stussy man with the crown.
Yeah.
The, Knowledge is King t-shirt.
Oh, hard.
Yeah, and of the 90s, it was 2 for $1 on the pound at the dollar. So net £10 for a Stussy t-shirt.
That was crazy as well. I think even like
What do you get from Stussy for £10 now?
nothing, bro. Like maybe cards, maybe a pack of cards,
Bag for life.
maybe a pack of cards. But yeah, even that, like going like into like rabbit holes of like actually it didn't just start in 2000. It's been here for so long. You
Yeah.
see pictures
Yeah.
of Will Smith, like you see pictures of Robert Williams, like all these different people wearing the brand, and I was like, right, like this is like a real big thing. So yeah, it was very eye opening, I'd say. But yeah, that was like my kind of journey into it, I'd say.
Yeah, and Present would have been a great place to learn because
that
obviously
was
that you've had the
insane.
store and the agency, so you would have been exposed to a lot
Agency
of
came a
things.
little bit later, but what was there before was a number of names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Craig Ford,
Craig
yeah,
Ford,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Craig Ford,
So
yeah.
yeah, so like
Is that when they had Bait?
Babe,
Yeah.
Bedouin Heartbreakers,
BBC,
BBC.
Yeah.
What else did they have? They had Ambush, like so you'd see like Yoon coming in here and there, or
Yeah.
whatever. I guess it was a time where you really, not that you didn't appreciate, but it's like you was around so much like amazing things. You're like, wow, like this is crazy. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, so many brands like learnt from Present. Like they had all these triggers, like but for Present, there was a bunch of like Remy Relief. Like I think they had bits of Capital at the time. There was loads of engineered garments, like workwear from like brands like Vetra. I think they were the first to start selling Converse when they started doing, because they first called it First String
Okay.
when they first dropped it, and then that became like the 70s all-star model where like the
Like more premium.
more premium, soles a bit more vulcanized and whatnot, a little bit more
Cushioning.
on the footbed as well. And it just felt elevated. But I remember they used to drop it and just used to sell out.
Flew out.
Out
Okay.
immediately. Do you know what I mean? I guess that was like, I don't know if that you'd call that kind of like tier zero kind of release, because like they did it a couple times and then it stopped there. Then they flooded the market with it. And obviously,
Yeah, like they do.
yeah.
Like light incubation.
Yeah,
so to
yeah,
speak.
yeah. But no, Present was a school. Like that was like next level.
What year are we talking right now? Would
Again,
that
my memory is like really bad. I think I got into Present 2016. I believe. Yeah.
So I think the first time I visited Present was 2017 or 2018.
Yeah.
And that was. It was a spot.
Yeah,
It was like a point of intrigue.
Yeah.
A bit like I
It
feel.
was pretty much the destination store in Shoreditch.
It
at
was,
the time,
yeah, it
Facts.
was.
Yeah, 'cause,
Serious Stone Island
Goodwood
jackets.
wasn't in the location it is now.
Yeah, they were still on Coronet Street.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Is that near Hoxton Square?
Yeah, on the back of Hoxton
It's a
Square,
much
yeah.
smaller store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you couldn't believe it because that store was pokey, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very small.
You gotta
Different
walk
time.
before you can run.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. But no, it was a different time, and I remember just like kind of seeing people come through the door. You'd see like whole design teams coming through, like taking little sneaky pictures, and they were very much on this like no picture policy kind of thing. I remember even seeing Virgil come through, but like very much hooded up and like, you know, just picking out his little bits from like, the magazine section and all that kind of stuff. Like I met Just Blaze. Like, there, like random people just coming through. Like it was insane time at that store. That was like a real school.
And one of your Goya.
Yeah. Big up Goya. Yeah.
He was like making music. It's like it's funny you were saying it's like almost always full circle.
Yeah. Literally. Like he was he started making music, or he was making music before that. His cousin Amari was making beats, and then I think he just started picking up momentum like on a crazy pace. By the time he's left, he's like got picked up. We actually did a party together as well at one point with Judah. Big up Judah. But yeah, he just took it, and now he's like touring everywhere. He walked for LV at one point.
Yeah, I think I saw an American Express advert recently.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. But no, it's lovely to kind of see the beginnings of things and where people take themselves, man.
Yeah,
sick.
Definitely.
And even back at Present, you were doing the spoken word and
Yeah.
poetry. So how did you find your passion for that?
So honestly, I started writing in the church, and that was like, I think if anyone like loves R&B or loves like music in general, you know that the church is like the most like biggest talent agency that isn't one, basically. Like, think of any great artist, like they grew up in the church at some point, you know, all of your favorite R&B artists. But did that, and then I started like thinking about other things I wanted to do, and I think I was pretty frustrated. I was like, I love this retail thing, but I want to do more, but I don't know what I'm doing. And I remember Nick sat me down, because I think I was like kind of spiraling. I was like, I'm applying for this job and I'm not getting this and this and the other. And he was like, calm down, bro, they're just chatting shit right now. Like, relax. Like, he was like, okay, cool.
Take a beat.
Take a beat. He's like, what can you do? And I was like, all right. It was like, well, like, you got social media, you got a platform. Just like put out things that you want to say and do. And like, obviously the store's here. It's like a blank canvas, like whatever you want to do it kind of thing. So I remember I started off Words by Stowe because of what he said, basically. And I felt like I was posting to nobody at one point, you know. And I was just like making up things on it's like a Sony Ericsson phone or whatever, taking a picture of it, posting it.
I was checking. I obviously research up to this podcast. I was looking at the page, and like the aesthetics so ahead of its time. It'd be like,
if I did that today, it'd be really, really interesting.
You'd have like a couple million followers, and life would be a breeze.
So interesting. But at the time, I was just like, I'm just gonna do it because this is the one thing that I could control. Yeah. But I also didn't know who was watching.
It's very much like Run's words in the bath at the end of each episode, right?
What's that?
Run's house. Can you remember?
Oh yeah,
and then in the bath at the end of each episode, he would always write his passage.
Very much, yeah. That's true. Definitely inspired by that, 100%. Yeah.
So you say the artists that were inspiring you then, or like your favorite artists then, would be
at the time. My favorite artist. My favorite artist of all time is a guy called Fred Hammond, who's a gospel artist. He's incredible, man. But like, if you were to sit down and talk to like, you know, the Jodeci's of the world, or like the Jagged Edges and all that kind of stuff, or whatever, you listen to their music and you kind of start to hear riffs and runs, like 112s of like songs that he did with like groups like called Commission. And it's a big similarity, but it's like kind of borrowing from each other, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So I guess a lot of like the words that I was like writing were like very reflective on life, but it always came kind of from a gospel perspective at the time. But then I'd experience something, or I'd see something, and I would just like talk about it from that way. And I guess like we were slowly coming into a space before we are now where you can't really have discussions with people without them getting really angry. Yeah. So like if I write something, you just argue with yourself. Basically, like you read it and you argue with yourself. I've said what I've said, and it's out there. However you interpret it is how you interpret it, you know. Yeah. So yeah, I guess it was a good form of expression, but it was a great way for me to kind of just put myself out there.
Yeah.
As well.
Good outlet.
Yeah, great outlet, man. Really, I really love writing. Writing is amazing. You know, it feels like putting a puzzle together and like finding a place for it.
And obviously, you mentioned the church is a big part of your life. You know, that obviously that's always been a part of your life.
Yeah, I think like with everything, there's like seasons where like you're in it, you're out of it. Like, but very much like grew up in the church. When I was at uni, met amazing people who were like lecturers and pastors as well. And I guess they like were very encouraging of like, you know, if you have a gift, like use it for the church or whatever. And then they were very much incorporated in like the different societies. So like I led a poetry society, but in my head I was like, I'm not even that good, but it didn't matter. Like you just you did it and you like served or whatever, and it was a great time. Did like small productions and whatnot, and it was was a really fun time. So I guess that carried on. And when I came back to London, the church I was going to, I essentially fell out of love with, because I didn't have that same close-knit community, and it didn't feel like it was at a level, you know, like,
yeah, and church is very much about community, right?
yeah, do you know what I mean? And it was like these pastors who I was at the uni with, like, they're big lecturers, they're really intelligent guys, but like they're talking to me like they're same level as me, which is what it should be. It's like, yo, I've got this issue or whatever. It's like, yeah, I've been there before, like I know what you're saying. But sometimes I feel like maybe in bigger cities, it's like you have your suit on, you become a pastor. It's like, oh yeah, I used to do that back in the day. It's like, yeah, like you're still there at that level. It's like
almost like they're above it.
Yeah, almost like you're above it, and like that's not what the faith says, unfortunately. So it just kind of put me out of it, and I guess I just got my head down and just like, you know.
And are you still active today?
Yeah, I go to a church called Place of Grace. Like, it's funny, like the pastor of the church is like very much sneakerhead, like, and he's a real guy, proper guy. Yeah, like, got a lot of respect for him and his wife. Like, amazing people. Really small, and I believe that it's gonna grow bigger. But they're just down to earth and like really cool.
Do you think it, you know, that very much grounds you? That's like
100%. I mean, like I said, there's like a lot of things that you learn talent wise, like from the church, like from musician side, but also just like lessons for life aside from the faith. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like maybe now, especially in like sneaker industry and all industries, there's like a weird relationship between younger and older people. But in the church, it's like you have your elders, you have the youth or whatever, and it's like you still respect and like honor the elders or whatever, but like also the elders understand that at some point they gotta like peer off. So like all of the stuff that they've learned, they're imparting on the youth. So there's like, you know, a good path for the church to grow. It doesn't feel like that's always the case in sneaker world, and I think it's changing, but like I feel like they can learn a lot from the church in that regard.
Any designs in later life to become Pastor Will?
Man, that would be interesting. I guess like I feel like my first immediate thing is like maybe I'm too much of a sinner, so maybe not. but you never know.
But you can repent for those sins, right?
Yeah, you're not supposed to be perfect, but you know, I feel like there's definitely a place. Like I was having like a prayer session on Friday, and like everything was about like, you know, Christians in the industry or like creative industry. And I've always like thought like I don't meet people who are like into the things I'm into who share the same faith. I remember even
I mean, it's different. Like, you know, religion is a is a very taboo subject. In a lot of cases, like
it's a weird thing. I remember reaching out to, I won't say the name, but somebody who's quite known in like the sneaker industry. They had a show there. Well, they still have it, but it's a different way now. And I was just like, oh, like, I know you're a thingy. Like, do you meet people often who are, you know, in the same way? And like the way they were responding to me was just really, it was very strange. I didn't understand. I was like, I'm just trying to connect with you on a faith level, bro. Like, I don't really know. Maybe because I work at Nike, they were seeing me as like some kind of competition or whatever. It was really strange. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, it's one of. I think people are sometimes scared to be open about this.
Yeah. It's one of them ones, but yeah, it's it's definitely a big part of my life. And yeah, like I said, sometimes it goes in season, but I think I'm in a good season right now with it.
You always rock your kicks in church, yeah?
Yeah. Always.
What's the number one church crap?
Oh, what's the number one church crap? I say it might be Vomeros, you know.
Okay. Comfort. Yeah.
Might be Vomeros. Yeah. I do see a lot of people rocking
Gazelles. If Luke was ever to parade, it'd be in Vomeros, I think.
Yeah, I see I see a lot of people rocking Gazelles and Sambas, to be fair. It's even made it into the church.
Birkenstock Boston.
Not yet. Not quite yet. It could be there soon.
Different church. Different religious practice for Birkenstocks, I think, Reese.
Different vibe.
Okay, so yeah, we touched on that. Your influences growing up, again, so we got the church. America plays a big part. What about, you know, London? You know,
my local
city.
It's funny, people like may ask me sometimes like, oh, who are like celebrities? It's like there ain't really any celebrities that are like heavily influenced me. It's the people around me, like the local guys, like
the elders. Do
you know what I mean? Like even like think back to Haggerston when it was like before it was gentrified and everyone like loves it because there's a point where people didn't. It's a guy I know called Pete. Him and his family have had like they had a shop in Haggerston for years, and he always wore 180s. Like that's like I just remember him wearing those shoes, and like Pete was a 180 guy, and like MS93s like all the time. Like that was just his thing basically. I don't think in one point I was like, how many pairs do you have, bro? Like this is just
fresh pair.
Fresh pair every single time. And I guess that was like the culture. And then like I think back on the way people used to kind of match things together. Like, I don't know if you guys remember at one point there was these USA tracksuits. They had them in JD. It was like terry cotton on the logo, and there was a swoosh just where like the stars were.
Yeah.
And it was like USA colours. People used to match their new eras to their 90s or whatever. There was like a particular way that people even put like, they put a sock inside of their sock and then tie it so like the lace would kind of bulk up a little bit.
Okay.
It was like such a weird thing, but everyone did it, and I don't know why. Like, it was just like one of those things. But these are the things that influenced me, and like the people that like made me kind of want to like dress the way I did or whatever. But it was definitely a uniform, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%.
Definitely a uniform. Like, there was a period where like even there were these starter jackets like that everyone was wearing, like with all these different NBA teams. Like, you went to Foot Locker and got that, but after a while it was like, actually this is kind of like becoming like, oh, you're part of this gang, so you wear this one. It's like, I can't wear that no more. So like, you know, those kind of things like very much changed the trajectory of like how I was dressing, I'd say. But yeah, people locally to me, like even my parents, man, like to be honest with you, like my parents are very much style conscious people. Like my dad still is to this day, like very much a well dressed kind of guy.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stowe Senior.
Yeah. Very much so. Very, very much so. But yeah, man, I think yeah, that was the main influences. But yeah, college, I think, like I said before, I met some different groups of people, and they were like very versed in like this hip hop meets streetwear meets sports world, and I was just like, right, I didn't know this was all merging into one, like, do you know what I mean? And I was very curious anyway. And I think growing up in Hackney, unfortunately, like, you start to, or for me, I started realizing that if you wore certain things, you was likely to be taken as like you're part of something. So I stopped wearing tracksuits for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
For a long, long time. I was just like, I'm not trying to like have mistaken identity for whatever reason or whatever. Like, let me just like kind of find a new way to dress. So it forced me to be creative and like, you know, go to Topshop maybe, like, or whatever, like find like some different things to wear essentially.
Yeah,
I think you get to a point where you conform, and then you work out, okay, well, what is for me, what isn't for me.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe I actually like this stuff. I'm not so much
on this side.
way.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know, you start to form your own styles and looks, don't you?
You trial and error. Some of the outfits.
I think I don't know. I think maybe fellas are more disposed to finding their own
styling,
sort of earlier, than girls.
100.
I think girls kind of
very trend-led,
stay in the same,
yeah.
like they're very, very similar.
Yeah, definitely.
I think fellas sort of find their own.
I mean, guys can be trend-led as well, but like, yeah, I think like I feel like the trends are marketed more towards women most of the time. So you will find like groups of women dress very similar to each other.
I think maybe the main difference is a lot of women's fashion is trickle down from like runway and like haute couture brands.
Yeah, of course.
Whereas for menswear, I'd say it's a lot more diversified. Men aren't like limited by like not everyone can afford like a Balenciaga dress or something like that. But so that'll naturally trickle down at the like more affordable avenues.
Yeah, you're right.
Whereas men can be a lot more like versatile in that.
Yeah, for a lot longer, like a Balenciaga on the runway will find its way, like a dress will find its way to one of the high street stores in some form or another. Yeah. Well, that's not happening from the men's. From the men's catwalk, it's not happening.
Well, I guess so. Like,
well, certainly it never used to.
Yeah. This opens up another conversation because it's like I remember. Well, recently I don't know.
So I think that's why men are more brand driven.
Yeah, 100%. But we're also
because
like
they're only going to get what they've seen from the brand.
Exactly. Yeah. But I guess that's kind of changing as well. But then, like, I noticed lately there's a
for sure it's the landscape's changed. Yeah.
And there's like these pumps that they have. It's like just fishnet and it's like ballet pumps essentially, and some of them have stones on them or like embellishment on them. And then I was like speaking to a friend that posted and I was like, oh, is that a lie? She was like, no, it's another thing. She was like, oh, they're not the only people that do it. Like, some people have made their own versions which are cheaper, obviously. But for men, it's like, that's a fake.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's like,
that's like a bootleg.
Yeah. That's just like, okay, it's just a fake.
I hear you.
Like, so very much different. But again, now that's changing, like, where people would be like, well, you know, this is what I can afford, so this is what I'm going to wear.
Absolutely.
But I don't think I'm from that school, unfortunately.
So, what about the retail landscape? Sorry, Reece.
King. Chill. So, like, obviously you've spoke about your influences. You spoke about, like, stylistically. I feel like, how long have I known you? I've known you, like, five, six. I've known you 5-6 years at this point. And I feel like a lot of people who are into trainers Like you're. I wouldn't say you're like a 400 pairs under your bed.
Yeah,
like, can't get into your room, fella.
Yeah.
But
well, no, he's already told us he's got storage. So he's on a whole nother
He's
level.
got all sorts of stuff.
Those dudes that have their own storage are crazy.
Clothes, all kinds of things.
But
Don't tell me it's just padded out with clothes. We know.
But I feel like people who are like really heavily into trainers for the most part, like style, like the rest of the outfit comes second.
Yeah.
I'm not throwing shots at anyone specifically, but
Shots fired.
but like a lot of people are like trainers first. The rest of the outfit could be absolute dog shit. Like no flow. It's not very coherent.
I'm offended. I am offended.
Like I feel with you. I feel like you're more.
Are you inside my mind?
I feel like you're more like full fit,
Yeah.
outfit, as opposed to just the kicks being fresh.
Nah, 100%. Like, it's funny. Like, and I said this, I think, to Prozac as well. It's like, I still would struggle to call myself a sneakerhead because one is like, I feel like that's like a big title, one, and maybe that's like imposter syndrome, whatever you want to call it. But then also, I feel like I'm a bit different to like what most people would be onto. It's like the outfit is very important to me.
I don't think I'd call myself a sneakerhead either because I'd happily forego the shoes for. I'm not dying to wear trainers. I'm not going to wear trainers right now.
Yeah.
I don't think I've wore a pair of trainers that whenever we've recorded this. To be fair. So I shouldn't even be. I'm a fraud.
Yeah,
I don't even buy trainers anymore.
Yeah, nah.
But the footwear choice for recording days so far has been horrific. No, first one started hot.
What I wear?
You wore your Stone Island New Balance.
Okay.
No, I wore double tap. I wore double taps.
Double taps, and you brought the New Balance.
So I wore double taps 990 V6s. The second time I wore Timberland 3i lugs because I'm trying to get that Timberland deal. Jimmy, hit us up. Third time I wore Prada America's Cups. And I've got a pair of Margiela German Army trainers on. So like no Nike, no Adidas, no Asics.
Today's choice, you know, your position's in jeopardy. I'm putting you on notice. I was going to tell you that.
We're going to spin back and find out if you still got a job next week.
Next time you better be in trainers, bro.
But this is what we're talking about. For me, it's like the outfit. I'm coming to London for the day.
Yeah.
You're an honest working class lad from the northeast, and you're turning up in Margielas. Who even are you?
Against the grain.
Them barcodes are going to disown you. I know it.
Forgotten who you are, mate.
Yeah, man.
But like I think that's important.
Yeah.
And I think like stylistically, you've always been someone that's like fly, for lack of a better descriptor.
Appreciate that, bro.
And that's pretty evident across your social media. And I don't think you're afraid to experiment either.
Yeah, not at all.
Not
at all. I think it's fun. It's more fun when like your outfit does bring whatever you're wearing on foot to life. You know.
Yeah, I try and do that as well. What I will say is when adulthood comes along, you have to pick your battles. So if I still want to enjoy trainers, unfortunately that's where my disposal is going to go, and then the outfit comes second. So I no longer can really shop in a branded environment. It has to be high street, and I've always been always color driven. You know.
Yeah.
So fortunately, I can kind of make that transition away from branded stuff, and I just try and choose wisely.
Nah, I hear you.
And it's mostly colour driven.
Yeah. Nah, I hear you. But I think it's definitely a part.
And I'll always shoe first, and then
everything else after. I hear you. I think for the most part, it makes me feel good as well. Like I love putting together.
I get a buzz off that as well.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what's nice when you buy a piece and you're like, I can just see this being in so many outfits and so much use out of it. Like for me buying like a nice like Our Legacy shirt.
Yeah.
It's like the feeling I used to get buying a pair of trainers.
100.
Yeah.
100.
Okay, here's a question. We'll get on to the former in a bit, but if you're out and you've put a fit together, you've left the house, you think, yeah, fuck, this fit's hard. What lands the most with you if someone's complimented your hat, your fit, or your sneakers?
Oh,
I like the fit, man. I like the fit, or a jacket. If it's a jacket, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, lately, so we'll probably get into it in a bit. My boy Ish, who does Coral Studios, he released a leather jacket, and it's called the White Jacket because after a while it turns white. But his company is all about, or agency is all about bringing awareness to like coral bleaching.
Yeah.
So the jacket over time, and obviously in real life, that's what's happening as well. Anytime I wear that jacket, it's insane.
Really?
Like the compliments are crazy. I could be wearing bin liner like for the rest of my outfit, like, and no shoes. But that jacket,
really,
compliment, it makes me feel good. I'm not gonna lie. So like, yeah, I say if one particular piece, yeah, but the whole outfit, someone's like, yo, I really love how you put this together. You know?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's I'm
That's
ready to go home. Yeah, I'm
That's
ready
a
to go home.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think I've ever had that one. No, if I get an approving nod for the shoes, for the sneakers, then I'm good with that.
For me, if I like, where was I was Truman Brewery. I was at Truman Brewery like 4 or 5 weeks ago. Saw a guy wearing a jacket, and I was like, I fuck with that jacket. So I ran after him down the street to ask what the jacket was. And I kind of like doing that with people. If someone's like got something and I can't like identify it, like it's sometimes nice just to like give them some flowers for the outfit.
Yeah, pay it forward. Yeah, no, I'm a big advocate for that.
Of course.
I'm not afraid to, say to another guy.
I think
you're killing me.
That's a nice thing.
100%.
Yeah,
because I appreciate if someone's because obviously, fellas like us will think about what we were putting on that day and then go out. And if someone else has acknowledged the thought that you've put into your fit, then
there is another side of it. Like when I go out and I'm in the room and I'm like, yes, I'm the only person that has this on.
Yeah.
Yes. I was like, I don't even mind if no one knows, but I'm looking around. I was like, yes, nobody else.
You don't have this.
I don't know if this will resonate with you, but I do it far less, and it's partly because I don't really consume that much product.
Yeah.
But if you can get a product early with like sneakers,
if
you post the sneakers early before they've even got like a release date,
we can't relate, can we, Luke? This is very much their chat.
Like, and I can't even front the amount of times.
Tell me what it's like.
the amount of times I've like undead stuff something. I'm going nowhere special. Yeah. I'll just go to a retailer, just a flex.
Yeah.
just a flex.
Just to step in.
Just to step in.
Just to step in.
Hey, clip that. Clip that.
I'm like Skepta, no security, like stepping in like this, and I'm like looking at everyone. I'm like, you know what these are.
You know what time it is.
You better show some love because you know what these are. You know what I mean? But
show some respect.
Are you crushed when no one bats an eyelid?
It happened. Like I bat a 99 every single time when no one's looking.
Yeah.
But
Then you go buy some Birkenstocks.
Yeah.
But it happens for
no one's doing that in your Margellas, by the way.
I'm not like that fussed, but it still happens on occasion.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm that guy.
Nah, I hear you. Yeah. I hear you on that one. That's too
and
funny.
you like
he's him.
You're
that guy.
He's him. You'll know yourself though, like if like through like we'll get into it a bit more later on, but like when you get something early, you like if you can step out in it, you're like, oh, you ain't got these.
Yeah, you ain't got these. Yeah,
you're queuing for these next week.
Let me not lie. Like when I
let me snap some next today.
When I wear the Coral Studios 95s, it's like
did you get the blue cold walls?
Yeah,
because I think you got that. I was like, fuck, you got those.
That was a flexing moment. Let me know.
Yeah, that was probably one of 2023's hottest shoes. To be fair,
that whole thing was sick. I mean, when I went to what was it, WHQ for the first time. I saw the white pair in the employee store, and I didn't buy it. And I was like, why didn't I get it? That was so stupid because I could have completed the pack.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, the shoes are incredible, and then obviously the black with the layer underneath, incredible, man. He done his thing on that. He really did well with that.
So I bumped into like Samuel Ross, Paris last summer, and like spoke to him after the Wales Bonner show.
Yeah.
And like we're just chatting about the shoe, and he said it, like there was a layer underneath it was going to change colour, but like I thought it was cool how he almost like waited.
Yeah,
it wasn't like immediate. It wasn't like the shoes came out and
he showed straight away.
Like to be fair, that shoe maybe should have performed better than it did.
Yeah,
because it didn't fly off shelves. But I kind of like how there's like the confidence in the product to be like, okay, it's out, it's sitting there, it's available. And then 6-7 months later, he's like, oh, by the way, the colour changes. There's a bit more to this.
Do you know what that is?
Storytelling.
Again, beautiful storytelling.
Yeah.
Beautiful storytelling. I love that as well. I think that was great. Like the patience to kind of like, okay, cool, you might have been wearing this and like maybe you've seen a little bit of blue, maybe you haven't, but you might want to start wearing these more so you can see it.
I mentioned it, but I can't remember when I mentioned it before, but yeah, that kind of storytelling, a lot of times storytelling with shoes is just bollocks.
Yeah.
But storytelling like that actually elevates the product again.
Man.
Yeah, it really does.
and that's when it works best, when the story elevates the product. Because, I mean, we've all seen fucking, like, nonsense bullshit come attached with shoes, haven't we? And you think, what? Like this, what? Just...
Go on, name some shoes, go on.
Oh, I couldn't possibly.
Come on, name some shoes.
Margiela something? Yeah. Three-lug Tim... No, but you know what I mean. Like
I get what you mean, yeah.
Like the product's not great, and
they
go super hard on.
You know when it works, and you know when it
doesn't.
doesn't.
Stupid story.
Yeah.
But no, when the story elevates the product, then that's how it should do. Yeah.
Facts.
Which is how it should be.
Facts. No, good point. That was a serious story.
So, on the subject of retailers, you've obviously mentioned you worked at Present. You mentioned Bond. Like, what else was What else was speaking to you when you were younger? And what do you think of the retailer landscape now? Because this is kind of fresh in my mind because I've seen a post from the panel. Don't know if you're familiar.
Yeah.
Like, to be fair, I'm sorry guys, I've forgot your names. I'm gonna be straight up, but there's a post
getting blocked today,
and I kind of went out my way to interact with it, and
Reese is getting cancelled,
and they were talking about boutiques, past and present,
yeah,
and does a boutique store still exist in the UK?
100%.
Yeah.
So what would you class as a boutique?
For me, a boutique that exists right now is Blue Mountain School.
Blue Mountain School.
There isn't a store in the world that is better than that. That is insane levels. And obviously it's like appointment only, but lucky for me I got a friend there. But it's like nothing is by accident. You step in.
You just dropped your flex, mate. You want to pick that up? There's a few down there.
Nothing in that store is by accident. Like from the clocks to the stairs, like everything is well thought of. At the top they've got like I think it's like 12 seat and dining experience. There's like a bit of an exhibition kind of art gallery area. The pieces that they have, they don't actually put on sale. They just archive it and bring it out another day. And it's like very considered fashion or considered like cutlery or considered next level. I think that's the only.
So you do you think there's like a more traditional like sneaker store that's a boutique?
Oh,
would you not consider a good? I know. Would you not consider
good hood? Yeah, good hood. And like we could definitely.
I'm not sure I put them two in the like ends, like a more traditional retail experience. It's slightly more.
Plush, though.
Yeah, it's plushed up, but for me and him especially, like we know N from the very beginning.
Yeah.
So for me,
and they couldn't be further removed.
Hunting store.
Yeah, that
before that.
Fuck, man.
N clothing.
That was a store, man. That was a store.
Yeah.
But like for me, what I'd classify, what the like parameters for a boutique would be, product on offer, and this being product which isn't like typical run of the mill, and it's also a product that you could walk into the store and it'd still be available. So as well as that,
like how a size 1.0 was.
Yeah.
You know how it started as like a concept store, and then.
Sorry, I think then I said.
Bond would be a boutique store.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah, I never saw it as well. That was the thing. When I found out about it, it was gone. So I went into size and I was like, "Oh,
it's very humble. It's a cool place."
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, where's Bond International?" And the girl looked at me. She was like, "It's been closed for years now." I was like, "Damn, like I really missed it." But then I guess after that, Hideout,
very much so.
Wicked.
I never got to go Hideout.
Yeah, Hideout was wicked. I think that's how I met Damo for the first time. Really, really, and that Daryl as well.
Original Foot Patrol. I mean, even today is similar.
Okay, so so I think the stores I named were I'd name End, maybe not the London location, but the Newcastle, the Glasgow, the Manchester.
The original location. Because the new location is fancy as.
The new location is like
End Hunting was the first step to what we see now.
Yes, it was.
Yeah,
it was.
But the original End store, with the sneakers upstairs, that was. Yeah,
that was like that was a true boutique.
Absolutely, yeah.
But like for the parameters of looking at product available, like the level of finish for the store, like how curated it is in the store, and then maybe looking at the ownership model as well, because I think that's important. I think that's it probably goes over the heads of like a lot of people who are going in the door every day. But if you're really trying to like boil it down and like write a thesis on it, I think that's important.
Yeah.
If it's like. I feel like stores under the JD group I wouldn't class as a boutique. But in saying that, Foot Patrol, I went in there 2 weeks ago and I thought it had probably the best footwear offering I've seen on the shelf in a very long time.
Fair.
Like, really curated mix of
Hip?
like...
Yeah.
I think Hip would have been a boutique, but it's also under JD.
No, like the original hip.
The original hip,
in
where it's
the
called Supreme.
in the arcade in Leeds.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So sorry. Back to. What do you think? Do you think there's any boutiques left in the UK?
I think any independently owned
Is a boutique.
is
still?
a boutique,
Okay.
or can be a boutique
Okay,
at least. Yeah.
Would you agree?
I mean, JD have bought. I mean, all credit to Foot Patrol. They have managed to retain
Identity.
some identity from its original beginnings.
Yes.
And I'm sure that's been very difficult to maintain.
Yeah.
But more credit to them for doing so.
Yeah, I'd say traditionally.
yeah. I think if you're part of a massive group, you can't.
I don't think
You
it's
can't
impossible, but traditionally, like we know,
They don't that's not independent boutique business
Yeah.
is not the same as multi location, multinational.
I'm trying to think, like, because are we saying that they can't replicate the model, or it's just like by definition?
I just think.
I just don't. I don't think they can replicate the model and have it feel genuine.
Yeah, I think feel and authenticity is like. Sorry, I've spat in your face.
That's right.
I think feel and like authenticity is really important, and I feel like a lot of retail these days is so sterile.
Because you'll find in a boutique, the guy behind the counter will be the guy. This is his world. This is his passion.
It ain't just a job.
Their passion.
Yeah.
So I guess that was
that's their passion. Like they're all in.
Yeah.
Whereas like if it's like a boutique that's a big company has tried to sort of manufacture, they're placing a manager in there. They're placing stuff in there.
Yeah.
There's no real.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes the quality of people that you get in some of these boutiques are like second to none, and I guess those people become like local heroes, and like you come in there and like I know my man, like he's my.
Yes.
That's actually my guy.
Yeah, I think in a boutique, the people there have to be invested in. In the project,
they can really tell you the story of like
absolutely.
everything.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
they know exactly where that brand's come
Yeah.
from. Who it's by, the factories it's made in, how long it's taken to get.
They also make product look amazing, like when they're wearing it themselves as well. Like,
yeah, that's true.
It's been several times I've gone into stores and I've seen like staff members wearing things.
Like
I'm
that.
like, that's hard.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's a tough one. That's actually a big conversation. To be fair, that's actually a very big conversation. But yeah,
I hope that. I mean, it's getting harder and harder for them to survive in these environments.
It's a tough time for a lot of people, man.
I think the culture needs that presence.
Yeah, it does need something like that. That's
I don't know. Maybe older ones like myself are romantic about it, but there's such a different experience shopping in a boutique than.
No, I think there's room for it. It's just like who can afford it.
And again, it goes back to community. You'll find a community in these places. Like Bond, the guys would hang out on the benches outside, and people from the agencies and the businesses and the stores would go and hang out, and there's a community. Yeah. And like when you go back to these boutiques, they remember your name. They retain a little bit about you.
They give you a compliment about what
they'll share something.
You remember that?
They'll be like, and they'll know what you like, and they'll take you straight to it. So look, we just got this in. There's a lot to be said for that experience.
True. Very, very true. Different times.
Yeah, and that can't fake that experience.
Yeah, you can't.
That has to come.
You can't.
That has to come. Yeah. Come from inside. You can't buy that.
I'm just thinking, what do you want to move on to?
Where did I think Mill's going to miss his call.
That's fine.
Cool. So where did we go from like 1 or 2 pairs, 3 pairs of trainers around you to like having a collection?
To be honest with you, that started when I started getting my own proper money. Like, because to be real, there's only so much space I could have, and then also like I would essentially wear things through. It might not even been that bad, but it's like can't wear this anymore kind of thing. And I guess that's like Hackney culture, just your shoes are busted for the way.
And it's come fresh,
probably like one of my best Air Maxes ever. I think I definitely threw away, but I shouldn't have. It was the lumberjack pack.
Oh, bro, the things we've thrown away.
Air Max 1s
in our youth.
Like, why did I do that? That was so dumb. Like that just didn't make any sense. Or like, I think it was like the Gen 2 versions of those with like that kind of current sole.
They were.
Is it the Moira?
Like insane.
EW Moira. Yeah.
I don't know what I was thinking. Like it was just so silly. Like just Do you know what I mean? So yeah, so one, like realizing actually it's not that deep, and I had to kind of unlearn things that,
so
like, you know.
Same for all of us. Is when we start getting paid.
Yeah, start getting paid. You're like, actually, no, let me keep this, but also I can actually have room to like buy more, basically. Because before it's like keep one, get rid of it, or you sell it to kind of buy another pair or whatever. And then, to be fair, like, you know, now I can afford to have storage or whatever, so it doesn't have to be in my personal space or whatever it is. So yeah, I guess like maybe that started changing around like 2018, 2019, like when I started working with you guys, because to be honest with you, bro, I was working a lot, but I wasn't getting paid crazy, you know. I think you guys know there was a period where, like, I think 2018 I was doing like 3 jobs maybe.
Yeah, man.
I was working like every day at some point. And that was just like getting me all right. Do you know what I mean? I was able to like do my thing and all that kind of stuff, whatever. So yeah, when you start getting money, that's when you can actually start collecting, if you're being real.
Yeah. And what was that? What was that first shoe? That first one? Wow. I have to have these.
Oh, that is a good...
And then it kind of really sparked the passion.
That is a good question. What was that first pair? That is a tough one. Oh, it might... Well, I'll say it happened a little bit before. It was 2 things. It was... I got... Do you remember the Tokis?
Yeah.
The Nike Toki.
Yeah.
I got...
I still got a couple.
Yeah. I got... it was an all-court as well. And a Destroyer jacket. But this was when Lab did...
Hey, the Destroyer era, bro.
Destroyer era was crazy. Like,
that Destroyer era was crazy.
If you didn't have a Nike Destroyer... He wasn't the guy.
That was the nonsiest thing you've ever said.
Talkies, I've still got a couple. No, like...
You're going to do time for that, bro.
Do you know what that shoe looks like?
The Tokis were cold, bro.
He don't know what it looks like.
Tokis were cold. It was basically Nike's like...
the Toki Lux.
Yeah.
The first one, the perforated...
Really, really good. Then they had the grey one and the yellow one. It was kind of like their version of... is it the Vans Chukka? Sort of similar.
What's the... Yeah, the Vans Chukka.
Yeah, bit similar with a swoosh on it.
Yeah,
it was a great shoe. It was
incredible.
Loved it. Like different time. So yeah, I think it was like a couple of those because there was like a sale going on at 48.
Yeah,
and Aggie was there and he was like, "Yo, come through, whatever. I'll put some stuff aside for you or whatever. No problem." I think I just like maybe I was working at like Abercrombie and Fitch's at the time or something like that. It was mad. Yeah,
Abercrombie.
Yeah. Crazy time. But I say, yeah.
You do any shifts topless?
Nah, not me. I wasn't that way built, you know. I was in the back where it folded. Yeah. No. But yeah, good times.
How many days did you finish your work with a headache?
Oh man,
was it the music or the cologne that they sprayed on everything? I remember
some woman came in. Yeah, she was a doctor. She was like, if you work under these conditions for like full-time hours, she was like, you're gonna be deaf by the time you're 40. She was like, it's too loud, and like also, I don't know what the scent's gonna do to you, but it's gonna do something to you. Basically, it was insane. next level. Yeah. Okay,
so we'll move in this section. We'll move to another passion, or something else that you collect, and that's your headwear. Hats.
Yeah.
Famous for your hats.
I don't even know where that started. You know, I guess I like accessories, innit? And just kind of making the outfit come to life. So the hat thing was really, really interesting, and I guess definitely started with new eras. There was a store just on Kingston High Road called The Source. Now I think about it, those guys were legends. I don't know if the hats were real at the time. Now I think about it, but like, how would you be able to tell a fake new era hat at the time? Like, you're still a young kid or whatever. But I remember a couple aunties went to the States, and it was like, yo, auntie, can you get me this hat? Can you get me that hat? Sometimes they came back with the right ones.
Yeah.
Sometimes you was getting a D12 cap that didn't make any sense. Do you know what I mean? And you're just like, oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that kind of thing. So, yeah, I think definitely... And I guess maybe that's where the side of music, grime, hip-hop came involved. Because it's like a lot of the grime MCs were wearing like sick new era caps and they were matching it with Adidas track tops or like these team tops, which are really, really sick. So I guess there definitely was like influence of music on that side. But as time went on, I just like started trying out new caps. Like my stepdad used to wear a lot of flat caps, so I like that.
Yeah.
Peaky Blinders.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Then like I had like an era where like I really liked like Ralph and like Ivy wear, so like had like little top hat kind of thing or whatever.
Yeah.
And maybe I'd mix it with some Converses or whatever.
It's coming back, man.
No, it is. I mean, if we're keeping it real, man, Ralph is everyone's dad, man. Like, let's just keep it real. Ami Leon Dor, like Noah, whatever you want to call it. Like, Ralph is everyone's dad. Like, let's just
And
keep
what
it
we
real.
got what have you chose today?
This is a brand called Be Beautiful. I think it's from Canada. I know they sell it in DSM now, but beloved Ben, was in Canada and he bought it from.
That's got to be a boutique, surely.
I'm trying to think of where he bought it from.
Dover Street Market.
Yeah, I missed that one.
Yeah, Dover Street
that
Market,
could have been
of course.
in the
Yeah, definitely. But he saw it and he was like, "Bro, you have to have this." And I was like, "Yeah, I do. So let me send you the money for it."
Nice.
But yeah, really nice brand. I love craziness on a cap, to be fair, and like kind of unconventional things. Like I know it's hard to actually get anything done on the visor, so like, I love bits like that. But yeah, with that challenge thing that I did as well, I don't even know why I started that. I think it was just like I was looking at like, because I have these little case bags for my bag, and I was like, I wonder how long I can go without like wearing the same hat. And I guess went for a pretty long time.
Yeah, how long did that stretch?
It's like 172 days.
Yeah, I
or
enjoyed
like
that.
Yeah,
that content
yeah. A
was
lot of
good.
people were
Yeah.
like, "Yo, like, when's the next
That
hat?"
was dope.
And some days I'll forget, and I'll be like, "Oh damn, I got to like post again." And then I got some hats given to me off the back of that as well, which was interesting.
Yeah, and you did some content for Offspring.
Yeah.
With
Their new era was sick. Really, really good, man. Like that hat was like nicely detailed. I wish I think it's still available. I like the Duke's Cupboard one as well.
Yeah,
really,
Duke's
really
Cupboard
nice.
one's hard.
Really, really good, man. Yeah, it's nice to see like where we are with like our own culture of new era caps as well, man. I think that's really, really strong at the moment. Really, so obviously I feel like a lot of things that we do is an offshoot of the US, but we do have our own spin on it. So yeah.
Yeah, I think I don't know if you know. Do you know King Apparel?
Yeah, that was on thingy.
So,
that was
so
they had a store, right?
They were the only. I think I got this right. They were London based,
Yeah.
but I think that they were the only brand that had sold New Era's themselves exclusively. Like New Era didn't sell King Apparel New Eras, which was quite a big thing.
Mad,
so I think they really they were pioneers in there.
There was a moment where it was really not hard, but like there were certain hats that like you wanted to get, or like you wanted to get different panel colours on your New Eras or whatever.
Yeah.
Then you go through there. I think when I was still really young, I remember I got a hat. It was like a 76ers hat, and I got it dirty, and I was like, I need to wash my hat. And I was like, how do I wash the New Era hat? And I remember like I gave it to a dry cleaner. I was like, oh, can you wash it? He was like, yeah, no problem. My hat was completely fucked, and I was like,
wrecked. Yeah.
I was so sad, but I couldn't do anything about it. Like it was done. It was completely done. So yeah, it was interesting, man.
How do you wash them now?
I guess
They are the awkwardest things to wash.
awkward thing to wash. I remember they had like these weatherproof ones that kind of maybe stood the test of times, but I guess also like made your head really hot as well.
Yeah.
But then big up Jeffrey, because he always sends me like
the hat care stuff.
hat shit stuff.
He gets a shout out every week, doesn't he, Jeffrey?
Yeah, Jeffrey's a community man.
Little product placement there, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Jason, what you saying?
when I was working at End, MJ, Mary Jane, she reached out and she said, "Do you want to do some content for Jason Mark?" So we came up with the idea of like I've got a few caps. I'm not like a cap player. I've got like an ALD New Era Yankees, like a couple of that caps, like some neighborhood bucket hat, shit like that. So we were like shooting some content for like me cleaning the hats, and it was the daftest shit. It was the daftest shit you've ever seen. It was like in essence me mocking it for 90 seconds, cleaning the hat.
That's funny.
And I like went to my boss at the time to get it signed off. He's just like, you cannot fucking put this out. And so that content never got to see the light of day, but it was funny. It was funny as shit, man.
We need to see that on the blooper reel. Yeah.
We need to see that one. We need to see that one.
So what would be your go-to hat? Is it a trucker? Is it a fitted? Is it a dad cap?
I love a trucker. A trucker, and I love like a lot of the vintage ones as well. I just like a boxy. Obviously, this is more like kind of a bit more curved, but like I love those boxy kind of trucker hats. And I think who was doing Supreme has a great model for them. Obviously, a lot of them are made in USA as well.
The trucker, are you talking about the pill,
box
one?
Yeah, like the trucker hats with the mesh at the back as well. They do some amazing ones. Capital does a good one, but they use like Otto blanks, so like it's quite good. There's this one brand, I can't remember the name of it, but it looks like it's Capital, but it's not. But just a lot of the made in USA ones are amazing. Then sometimes you find like some really good like deep crown ones or whatever. But yeah, I think just the look of it, and maybe again this could be like a Pharrell thing, because you know back in the flipping heyday of like Neptunes, that was his look, like trucker cap. Like,
they brought those back just recently.
Yeah, like the style was sick, man. The tees and like cut off shorts or whatever. Like style was amazing. Like incredible stuff.
Yeah, I had that brain trucker.
Yeah, so good, so good. It never gets old. Never gets old.
Did you bump into Pharrell in LA as well?
I did, yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
No way.
Pharrell, yeah.
No way. Did you get a picture?
That's a story for another time. Did I get a picture? I did. Yeah, I did. Actually, going back to what we were saying about complimenting your fit, I met him at T3 for Activision, which is a big video event came conference at the Staples Centre, and I was wearing a Bape t-shirt.
Nice.
And we were getting introduced. You know, I was getting to meet him, and the first thing he says, "Hey, I love the t-shirt. Thanks for supporting the brand. It means a lot." Like,
nice.
So I was like, I absolutely gassed off my nut for that.
Yeah. Got to keep that too.
And it was when like NERD had not done anything for a while, and there's rumours of new music. I just sort of asked him when the new music was coming, and yeah, he was really cool. He was really
down to
earth. You know, it's nice to meet someone but have a back and forth conversation.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was cool.
You wanna fly like
Luke? I'll give you the picture to drop in the chat. Drop in the edit. Yeah. Is that cool?
You wanna?
Yeah, thanks, man.
You wanna fly through 2 a bit and then get on to 3 and then the 4.
Do you need to change over bats?
Not yet.
Are you good? Yeah.
We'll do in about 15.
I'll probably need to be away by 2 to get to King's Cross. To be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No problem. I've got all day, but
Fair.
whatever you want to do, Reese. That's cool. We're going to
Top 2.
Yeah.
Part 2, yeah. So, you've obviously like talked a bit about progression, like working to present Abercrombie, like drop date, like just kind of hustling. What was the journey from when you were at Generation to Nike? Because I actually don't think I've heard this
it was
story.
It was at the time I was also getting involved with parties as well. And I was managing a DJ at the time.
Triple A.
Yeah, Triple A.
Who was doing phenomenally well.
Incredible.
He was in Toronto, not
yeah,
long ago, wasn't he?
Yeah. And he just did a ALD.
Yeah.
He's like, I know like there's a lot. Everyone's a DJ now, but like Triple and RBC, but he's next level.
He's good. He's a selector.
Yeah, he's a selector.
Yeah.
Like he can come. Like literally, we can go into a room, nobody moving. If he starts, everyone's moving. I don't want to tap tape.
Yeah,
like everyone's
DJ,
moving. Like
yeah.
he really gets it. Do you know what I mean? Like special kid, man. He's insane, absolutely insane. But yeah, that was like a big moment of like kind of okay, cool. Like I'm managing someone, but I'm understanding like how to navigate with like working with different brands, like how to actually compose myself in an email, like, you know, asking for the right things in detail on a contract as well. And it's like, say things like, you know, what's the payment terms and all that kind of stuff or whatever. So some of the things I was learning for myself and also applying to what I was doing at the drop date as well. Because then you're producing like what we did, the SAS 2020 thing, right?
Yeah.
That was a lot of like big production. That was large thing for me to do, you know, with the team, and it was incredible. So was doing that, was involved in DLT and then some other parties as well. And then I guess someone I was speaking to at the time was like, oh, do you have a LinkedIn? And I was like, not really. It's like kind of, you know, Instagram for corporate people, innit? Basically, like, I don't need that. But it was like, nah, like you should do it. It's like you're doing a lot of different things, which if you put on one place, you probably will get like a lot of like offers or whatever. I was like, whatever you say, yeah, I hear you. whatever you say, mate. So did it, and then like I just started falling into a search of like different employers or whatever. A lot of interviews where people just like love what you do, love who you are, just don't know where to place you. After a while, I started getting frustrated. I'm not gonna lie to you, because it was like, stop calling me if you don't know what you're gonna do with me. Like I don't want to just have a conversation. Essentially. Of course. And obviously, I'm still at the drop date, but it's like I'm always gonna want to do more things, and I'm understanding that okay, cool, that I can do this, so I can get to here basically. So it was just
building a skill set,
building a skill set. You know what I mean?
To,
naturally falling into possession. Then I fell into like a search of like this sneakers thing, and then the rest was history, man. But it was a very interesting time because I think we just finished off the SAS 2020 thing. It felt like I did something big with the team, and it entrusted me to like play a part in it. That was like very much, I've never done this before. Do you know what I mean? So definitely made mistakes, definitely done some good things as well, but it felt like there was like a forward progression basically. You know,
and then it was a good time to, that was a nice pinnacle.
It's a nice pinnacle time. Definitely. And then you'd always have like, you know, am I actually ready to do this? But you just got to step out, man. Do you know what I mean? But I think it's always important to just put yourself out there and just try new things. But then having a LinkedIn was very, very much a game changer. Yeah,
we FD said this, right? He said he hustles hard and he puts a lot of time into it. LinkedIn, and you'd be surprised what you get out of that.
People are watching, man. People are watching. You'd be surprised,
especially employers.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. So what? So the ad for Nike. What did you see? What was the ad?
They picked me up on and I guess loads of other people as well. But it was like, hey, like play for blah blah blah, this Nike sneakers roll or whatever. Like it needs somebody that's like on the ground, understands London culture and this and the other. And I was like, I can do those things. Like,
yeah,
this is like kind of just being Will kind of thing or whatever. And then there's like marketing role and all that kind of stuff or whatever. But it was very entry level at the time.
Yeah.
So I went for the interviews. First time in Wardour Street, I was like, damn, like this is really Nike, like it's happening, kind of thing. Had 2 interviews, they were great, and I think they was taking a while to get back to me. But then it was like, I think we were about to get into another project at the Drop Day or at Generation Work, same thing at the time. So in my head, I was like, I don't want to start this off with them and then drop them in the middle.
Yeah.
So I kind of forced the recruiter's hand, like, yo, you need to kind of tell me what's happening, like, because I need to tell these guys it's not like they're just any employers, like these are actually my friends as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't want to do them dirty. So like, yeah, that happened, and then, bro, I think when it happened, I couldn't believe it. Like when they called me back, I think I actually cried. I was like, this is a mad moment. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like most people who are into sneakers, into sports, any kind of culture, like working at Nike is like a huge thing.
Yeah, big thing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can relate. I mean, I'm you know, it's no secret I'm a Nike head.
Yeah, the biggest.
Yeah, I love the brand, and you know, sort of being in this industry somewhat. Nike's a mecca. Like it's just, you know, it's like sacred place for sneakerheads, especially if you're a Nike head.
Trust me.
And you know, I have things I want to choose, like first visit to Wardour Street. Wow, through the door. This is amazing. And then I was lucky enough. I had a few goals. Like I wanted to Wardour Street. Great to see around that place. See Hilversum, EMEA.
That's strong as well. Yeah, that was great.
I had a trip there and had some friends working out at the time, and they kindly showed me around there, and that was a amazing experience. Shout out Mikey, Dave,
Mike Ford.
Mike Ford.
Legend.
Yeah, Mikey, yeah. So he started back at
he's a legend,
Leeds back in the day with my boys.
No way.
Neil and Mark Bedford. Yeah,
they
used to work together, and
absolute
he made
legend, man. Top guy.
So Mikey, Dave Alvarez, Louise Noble, Carsten Franco. These guys all made that possible, and it was a cool time. And like sort of, another goal was like maybe cut a check from Nike at some point in my time, and managed to do that one time. Thanks to Matt Hannigan for that.
Yeah, no, top guy.
And then last on the list was getting a trip to EHQ, and Mikey was like, "We'll get you there, but to WHQ, but that's yet to be ticked off."
Yeah, soon.
Maybe, but I think that ship sailed. But
you never know, bro.
Yeah, but no, I mean, I did pretty well.
Yeah,
it's weird how we build a place that we see it as a.
No, it's a special place and a special brand, man. Like, again, if you grew up in a city, if you grew up outside of a city or major city, like, and you've watched kind of like even just on a football level, like Eric Cantona, like au revoir, like kind of thing. You went into school the next day with your collar up. Like, do you know what I mean? Seeing that, it's just incredible things, like insane levels of like marketing, product. It's just, there's nothing like it. Do you know what I mean? So that was a big moment, man. I felt like I did something for my entire borough, like at the time.
Yeah, for sure.
It was mad.
Yeah.
It was actually mad. It was really strong. And I felt the support of people as well. It's like, nah, man, you've been like...
No, I think you were definitely a voice for those people, at that time. How many Snkrs live shows did you front?
I think in the recap thing that we did, I think they said 150, but I think that was like one show. I think it was definitely more than that, because like there was internal ones that we did for testing, and there was like the ones that were just like really shitty on our phones and like only a couple of hundred people or whatever. Yeah, I think it was definitely more than 200 mark. But it was funny because like even the way that came about, it wasn't like something that was positioned to myself and Lucian. Yeah. And Lucian was like the first person to test it. It was more like, okay, nobody's doing this we don't have anyone that we can select at the moment, and it was lockdown, so it's like can't really do like in auditions or whatever. People coming, there's no offices basically where no one can go into, so I guess we just stood in place for like what was going to be like testing, and then we just kind of went forward.
That must have afforded you like a certain
Man,
degree of
like,
freedom, and you know, you're able to relax into it.
Yeah,
and really find
that
find
changed,
the format,
yeah,
right?
That changed my path at Nike completely. Yeah, that changed my path at Nike completely. Because being a specialist was great, and like, you know, being able to like understand parts of the brand, like campaigns, like the way the team rolls and all that kind of stuff. But doing that, like, that afforded a lot of things. It made people listen.
Yeah,
you know. Yeah.
We were a voice, for the want of a better word.
Yeah, and it's funny. I look back on it, and I remember people saying that I didn't really understand, and I was like, it was quite a dark time. Like, you know what I'm saying, people at home, like, you're not able to do things.
You're probably unaware of what you're actually providing.
Yeah, like, it was just, obviously for me, it was like I'm having a conversation with a mate of mine that's in the US about sneakers, and like sometimes we get great guests and it's just fun. But for a lot of people, it's just like I can, you know, tap into something that I love and like watch people that are like me, essentially. So,
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no different to back in the day, like, you know, forums and
just
finding those people that are like you, and someone you can talk to, and and just chat shit about trainers with.
I think the funniest thing is when after that period, it was a lot of like people seeing me, and I think because they see me so much, they'll be like, oh yeah, I met you in thingy or whatever. And like,
I know you.
Yeah. I know you. And this one guy was like, yeah, you bought something off me in Brighton. I was like, I haven't been in Brighton in years.
Any autographs going?
No autographs, but pictures.
No requests.
A lot of
selfie
pictures,
requests.
A lot of pictures.
Yeah.
A lot of pictures.
Famous Will. Come on.
You guys coined it. You guys coined it. You guys actually coined
manifested
it.
it.
You guys coined it.
Manifested it.
We have to give a large part of credit to Shezzy for that one.
Yeah. We got Shezzy.
Shezzy, we miss you, Brad.
Trust me.
So Sneakers Live, 200 plus episodes. You think? Is there any that stand out particular? Any particular highlights? What do you take? What do you remember most from? Being in front of the camera anyway.
Starting it was like, it was nerve wracking. That was funny, and then I guess I'll say 3 moments. Yeah, when I first met Lucian in real life, because we'd like literally been doing it for so long.
Yeah, man.
We never actually met each other, and I remember it was just like, yo, like, we've actually never met each other. Like, this is mad. I think we said it on air. Then like it became a conversation like within our small like hashtag or whatever that we had on Twitter, and then Lucian and the team, and obviously big up like the mayor team that was like working on it as well. They'd like agreed to like, you know, fly me out to New York so I could actually meet him and do an episode, but he didn't tell anyone else that was in the office basically.
Oh, sick.
So I got there. And then people were like, Will, like, you're here. It was like, it was that period where no one had seen anyone for a long time. So it was just like, I can't believe you're real.
Yeah.
Like, it was such a weird time. But no, that was like really, really special. It was great. Lucian's an amazing guy. And that S1E4 team, man, I mean, just loved them, man. Great people. There was Skepta one that was really funny. Probably one of the hardest streams I've done because like there was a lot of technical issues. Like the flow of it went a bit mad. But then it was funny because like we was actually just ripping into each other like at the end of it. I think some people thought it was serious, and I was like, this is just boys bantering, like it's not that deep. So yeah, that was a funny one. And then finally 100% like has to be the Tinker and Clint one, man. That was like next level. Yeah, it was a big one.
Yeah, I think that'd be a big one for any Nike fan.
It was huge. And I think it was more so the stuff that was happening outside of like the stream as well. So like they got to meet each other prior. And Tinker was just like so down to earth.
This is what I'm gonna say. Obviously, we all see what goes on camera. But, did you get any time to converse with him off camera?
It was the second time I'd met him. So the first time I did like this internal like employee kind of talk or whatever, and we sat down and chatted, and it was sick, but it wasn't recorded, so it was like, oh, damn. The second time it was amazing. So like we met again. He remembered. I was like, shit, you remember me or whatever. He was like, yeah, man, like you had great questions and all that kind of stuff. And then him and Clint meeting, it was so like it was great to watch because like Clint loves Hirachis. He gave him an Oregon Duck Hirachi, signed it. He signed his HA3. He was literally in the other room like, God, fucking like it was mad. Like it was really like if you love this stuff, like you love that moment. It was really, really special. But they were like, they're so different in age, like what they're into and all that kind of stuff, but so much similarities in like the way that they thought. It was really amazing. Again, like I said, I think there needs to be more examples of like that young, old balance basically and crossover. And it's like, it's grace on either side really. It's like, it's grace to know that I've done this before you, I've got some examples. And then also there's places that you as an older guy haven't been before and I can show you some new things as well. Yeah. Do you get what I mean? So it was special, man. That was like really, really big. Really big.
Was there anything off camera that you got to ask Tinker that that stuck with you, or anything you can take away, or share with us?
I forgot to tell you guys that one off camera.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys want to hear that one? Yeah, I forgot to tell you guys that off camera. But yeah, there was a lot of things. But yeah, the most juicy one, definitely have to tell you guys off camera. Yeah,
We'll look forward to that after.
But like, that was amazing, and yeah, my team like incredible, man. Like everyone really like pulled together to like make that happen. So like, was really happy, and I guess it happened at the same time with the drop of the Cortez 95s as well. So
that was big,
bro. Like I think they would like genuinely were like, oh, they're not sure if people are gonna come out, and like the response was insane. It's like doing it in London is one thing, doing it out of London is another thing, doing it in a whole other country, and like on a Tuesday it was like stupid like that, or Wednesday it was insane. Like just watching kids like tear through New York on bikes, Ubers, trains, everything, people going the wrong direction, figuring out the right way to go. It was insane. It was crazy, but for the most part everyone was like, this was fun. There was like some people like, I didn't get anything, but like I had loads of fun today. That was sick. Do you know what I mean? Little fight here and there, but it's like...
I've mentioned this before. I think if we've gone so far digitally, when something isn't back to an analog pursuit, you have to actually, you know, it's
can't beat.
It's
the
how
feeling.
it should be, man.
Yeah, can't beat the feeling.
Yeah, it's a much better feeling.
What was your favourite out of the trio?
The pink.
The pink?
Yeah.
Okay.
First off, when I first saw it, I was like, the green, but the pink is...
I like the green.
Yeah, the pink is nice, man.
Have you got? Did you get those?
I got the pink. Only the pink, yeah.
Only
the pink, yeah.
Okay.
Only the pink. But yeah, that's strong. Pink is really, really strong.
I regret not picking them up, but I was in like I went to a resale store the other day, and they had them on the shelf, and it's always a sharp pick up when I look at it, and I'm like, I like these, but I think the size of the 95 now, I'd probably pay 600 quid for a 12.
Yeah, it's true. He was talking about, sizing's like very, very different now. But then I found out like recently that they actually let him somewhat strip back bits of the shoe.
Oh, really?
So like really kind of get into the details of like the design, which was really interesting. So yeah, it's great. Yeah, great time, man. Really, really great time.
Yeah, for sure. It was it was a really good release.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Strong.
Yeah, and the same sort of thing again with the Lorenzo G.
Yeah.
You know, again another analog pursuit.
For sure.
Got the community involved, and you know,
spoke to a lot of people after that. It was like, that's the closest thing to like maybe the buy 10 kind of feeling that they've had in a minute. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just being outside, not knowing if you're gonna get it or not, kind of thing. Do you think brands are fearful of doing that today? It's dangerous, like that's the thing. So like it's just too many things to catch you out. Yeah, like I think it's one. I think it's the danger side of it, and there's like other bits that I don't know. Maybe is it fairer to have the raffle? I don't know. I can't answer that question. But I think I've definitely seen like there was a time I did a stream inside of Nike Town. And I remember that day they were releasing something. I can't remember what it was, but someone had threatened the staff member, said, "I'm going to stab you if you don't give me a shoe." Yeah. And it's like,
it's not that deep.
It's not that deep.
Yeah. And she was shaken up, and I was like, why wouldn't you be?
Yeah, that's the trouble when you're queuing, isn't it? You get some darker characters.
Proper knobheads, like it's crazy. But I think if they can if most brands can figure out that security element. And I know some people are just like, we get out there and just that, but I don't know if this was true, but the word used to go around that when queues started to form outside stores, police would get involved and be like, if we have to police this, we're going to be charging you the time. I think that's. I don't think that's. Or putting the response. If anything gets out of hand, this is on you. Yeah, I don't think that's far fetched. To be fair. So I mean, you can understand, but yeah, because I remember a couple times been in Soho, seeing a couple end releases, not all the way left, but kids squabbling and all that kind of stuff, and it's still touristy area when you think about it. Some people live there. It doesn't look the greatest.
Spider-Man.
What was crazy about queues at the original at St Anne's Court for Foot Patrol was, that was a horrible dark alley. There was an internet cafe opposite, so you used to go in there and seek refuge or whatever. But above was somewhere, I think it was the Beatles recorded their first album there or something. So if you were there a period of time, periodically you'd get groups of 20 tourists with a tour guide. So because it was a destination. This is where the Beatles,
That's funny.
And it was mad.
That's crazy. Yeah, it's such an interesting thing. But I guess hopefully they can find a balance. But safety obviously should be at the top of everything. And I guess when
unfortunately you just can't trust people to behave themselves and act responsibly.
You can't.
Especially when there's so much, there's value in the pursuit. There's so much value placed on the pursuit.
Yeah, like I've got a younger brother who's like 15, and it's like if he was really he's into like what he's into. Most kids are into tech fleece and football and playing it as well or whatever. But like, would I be worried if he went to go and like learn? I was like, yeah, I'd probably come with him. Like, I don't want you to get robbed. Like, I don't want. Do you know what I mean?
It's the landscape of it's changed completely.
Yeah,
now.
It's changed a lot. So
I feel like maybe being corrupted a bit by like money. I feel like
the glamorization of the resale market is absolutely like that's where this has all come from.
First come first serve is really scarce these days. I couldn't tell you what the last release was where it wasn't ticketed or there wasn't like an avenue beforehand which allowed you to get a pair.
No, for sure.
But I don't know.
These mechanisms they're just not fair to the real person.
Yeah, unfortunately, someone's losing along the way.
If you're just a normal person living their life, I can't afford a pair every week. I love trainers no less, but then you get like a raffle mechanism. It's like you have to have entered draws in the last X amount in the last such and such, or
you got to wear the pair that you
It's like
I think that's bullshit.
That's hard. Why should I have to quantify my passion for a shoe by my pursuit of ones prior? I might not like the ones before.
Yeah. I mean, you're one of the you guys are like sensible people. Some people are not that sensible, and like so I can kind of see both sides. It's like,
but someone who has less genuine motives are doing that. They're in every raffle. They're copying everything, and they're getting ahead of.
True.
Do you still think
genuine consumers?
Do you still think that's the same case like now in 2024? I'd say like 21 to maybe start at 23 that was the case, but I feel like it's what is that they cop anymore right now?
I feel like there's a lot more in the market on shelves as well. So like, I don't think it's again, let me not speak for everyone, but I feel let me say it feels like a lot of brands are putting out more mass wise. So it's like
there's the market is saturated. Like if we go back 15, 20 years, a long fucking time now, you might get one hot drop a month.
Yeah.
Maybe from a brand.
Yeah.
Well, it's every week now.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're hyping up something every single week, sometimes twice a week. Is that sustainable? Well, we're clearly seeing that it is sustainable because it's there's no slowing down.
Do you think it is sustainable though? Or do you think brands retailers are feeling that there's more stuff sitting on the shelf and the longer stuff
you've got to remember, Reece, the stuff that we're into, particularly, that's not what the brands are making money on. That's that's more of a marketing exercise than anything else.
Yeah.
What is
as a numbers game?
What constitutes sitting as well? I always find that interesting. Like,
I think if something's dropped on a sneakers or a raffle and it hasn't sold through and it appears on latest products or it makes it to store.
Yeah. I think if you try to raffle a product, you haven't been able to sell it through on a raffle. It's sitting.
Okay.
And I almost feel like if you had have released that normally, and it had have sat, if it had just like took a month or up to 6 months to sell out, that would have been fine. But I feel like when you raffle something and try and put it on a pedestal, and then the consumer's like, this
doesn't
is
react to it.
I do think retailers could do better with that.
Yeah.
Like that, I just think they feel like anything with any kind of
heat to
it has to go on a raffle.
Yeah, I
it doesn't. It doesn't. Not now, especially.
Just put it
not
on.
Now.
Put it on the website. And if people want it,
they've all got algorithms. They've got data. They're all crunching the data. They know by now if something's raffle worthy or not.
It's.
Yeah. It'd be nice just to log on at a time, see it there, and buy it.
It would. But I feel like a lot of brands and collaborators, as a mechanism for agreeing to the collaboration, want it put on a platform like end launches, for instance.
Yeah.
Or to go on like Adidas confirmed or like the sneaker.
Also, I think the big flaw in this system is, obviously, if shoe A drops and that's a shoe you really want, well, you're gonna enter in every raffle going.
Yeah, true.
Well, what if you come up in every raffle?
Yeah, true.
Who can afford that? But you really want that shoe.
That's a good point.
And your chances of coming up in one are minimal as it is.
Yeah.
But it could, it could happen. What happens if you get 2, 3, 4? And often there's like up to half a dozen destinations where you can.
Is that how you become a reseller by accident, basically?
I think it might be, yeah. Yeah.
You've ended up with so many.
But you're not making much because you're having to get shot of them very quickly.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Very, very true.
So yeah, I think the perfect method is yet to be discovered. Yeah, it's tough.
Definitely, things are changing, but yeah, we'll see where we end up with it in a couple of years.
I think the raffle will be done in a couple of years.
You reckon?
Either they'll let the first come, first serve.
Okay,
they will, because you got to think for.
Do you actually think that they will find a way where bots become wiped out, redundant?
I don't think it's possible to entirely
stop a bot.
Yeah, because it's just a script, right?
But they're.
You can slow it down.
Yeah, you make it harder.
Yeah, but
if a man sitting in New York can perform heart surgery on a person laying on a bed in London, they can stop a bot.
No, that's true. But I think it's more so like the nature of like what it is and how it changes. But I think maybe the question is, does it need to become a criminal offence? Is what it gets to. Because remember, we see it on the sneaker level.
Well, yeah.
But then there's like people who like into graphics, and graphics cards are getting like botted, so that's like a whole nother thing.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
But also, bots are ensuring this product sells through, and more than anything, that's what the business wants.
So I was talking to my team yesterday, and I found out that apparently in New York, because everything's a queue and everything's a trend there.
Yeah.
People are botting restaurant reservations.
Well, for like Carbone and
stuff. Because
they'll sell it to people.
Yeah, there's resale market for those places.
Yeah, but then like
it's the same with gig tickets and all the rest of it.
But then like after a while, I'm sure like the type of people that are coming to those restaurants, they want them to be of a certain caliber, right? Like because people do get turned away. All money for them probably isn't good money. Yeah. How do they stop? Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
I feel like it's more of I think it has to become illegal.
Yeah.
In order to actually stop it.
But how you police now? People are committing real crime and not going down.
I mean, digital crime is still is it? Could that be considered fraud at some point? I don't know. Like,
what you in for? Botting a page.
Yeah. No. I mean. No.
You'll be posting your bail. It's like.
No, I feel what you're saying. I think if it was happening in another, a not niche market, then. If it was affecting people who sit in the Houses of Parliament,
then the conversation would change.
They would be having that conversation very quickly.
Dog the bounty hunter coming after you. You've got 4 pairs of Thunder 3.
But while we're fighting, while we're fighting out for sneakers, it's minor.
Trust me.
Yeah, to those people that matter.
Yeah, we'll see though soon.
Yeah, it's an interesting topic. It's always. I don't think it'll ever not be divisive.
100%.
Yeah. Last time we spoke with FD, FD, our last guest. If you didn't know, we're recording this the day after the full episode came out, so make sure you log on and see our previous episode as well. We were talking about the various ranges that Nike are fully behind, like ISPA and Nocta.
I love ISPA, man.
Yeah, let's hear your thoughts on the various off brands that they're using at the moment.
Personally, to me, and I don't care what anyone says here, is like the best like expression of like innovation or design by any sportswear brand. I don't think there's any comparison to it. It could be argued that it's ahead of its time, and it's a bit too maybe niche, but it's next level stuff. Like it's just incredible, and obviously. It means that maybe you have to wear things in a certain way because like if you look at that Road Warrior shoe, that's an aggressive, big shoe.
Yeah.
Or if you look at like the Drifter Split Toe, it's like take on a tabby essentially, and maybe that's not everyone's style. But we're talking like individual, great, unique design. You can't touch it. I mean, they put out like I think they showed it first in the Paris showrooms or whatever. That jacket that turns to poncho. I mean, turns to a tent or whatever.
I saw that on the way. Yeah.
I think we posted that
like
end of last week.
My first thought was it's cool, but Moreno Ferrari did it when he was creative director at CB Company like 25 years ago.
Fair.
So to play devil's advocate, I get it. I like it personally.
Yeah.
I think it could be a little bit cheaper because I think it's a bit of a considered purchase. There was like like a windbreaker jacket with like an exposed seam.
Yeah.
That like caught my eye like a season or two ago.
Yeah.
Which I liked, but I think retail was like $260.
Something like I think I know what you're talking about because I've got that, and you pump up the jacket as well.
Yeah.
In like the footwear, there was one with a full like a 720 solar full A. The black with the green and the orange. I like that. I like that silhouette, but for me, I kind of wish to almost make it a bit more wearable. Like have the tech, but make it like a bit more wearable.
So it's interesting. I think maybe what we could see, or like I would hope to see, is like the ISPA concepts going into Air Max.
Okay.
Or going into Air Force One. Do you know what I mean? I think that would like maybe make it a bit more commercially like, you know, understandable to like not entry level people, like, you know what I'm saying? Like it wouldn't have to be so hard to understand, or like, oh, I have to wear this to put this on or whatever. I think maybe that's what it could need. I do like where it's at, but like I think it is super conceptual and it's like incredible stuff, and maybe that's what it needs. Like it needs the concept and the thinking behind it, but in an Air Max or in a Presto maybe, or something like that, basically. So it's like it's what people expect, but in a little bit of a twist, basically. Yeah. Because I think that might be easier to digest, essentially. Yeah. Because it is quite, it's something. It is. It's really something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's challenging. I think and that's what it's meant to be, right?
Definitely. So I guess like the closest things that I can like be like I've seen or like we know of in the past, it's like Considered or Alpha projects, but even those like were.
I'm a major Considered hater.
Oh, you hate it? I thought he was gonna say you hate Considered.
Hate it.
No way.
Yeah, I think it's everything that Nike shouldn't be.
No way.
I think ISPA is what is the right way to do Considered.
Why would you say what was your problem?
Well, because it was just all woven and like stripping back.
It's a bit armor
basic. Yeah, and that's not what for me. That's not what Nike are about. Like I don't understand why would they play with a Considered line when they could be doing things like ISPA. Because Nike for me are always like, I think they're forever. They're ahead of their time. They're always ahead of their time.
Yeah, of course.
You pick a time. They're ahead of their time.
Yeah.
We can list many styles that flopped 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, that would be absolutely
incredible,
crazy today.
Yeah, of course.
And just Considered was just.
Are you saying that because
just went against all of that?
Do you feel like it wasn't like rooted in like sport, maybe?
That as well. Yeah. It wasn't athletic. It certainly did. For me, it didn't elevate any of the models it was taking inspiration from.
Does it have to though?
Well, if you're gonna use something you're familiar with as an inspiration.
But wouldn't that be like for it to appeal to a newer consumer?
No, I get that it's probably done to appeal to a market they might not have.
Yeah.
But
for you, it wasn't kind of.
That's not what Nike. For me, that's not what Nike's about.
Fair.
They're trailblazing. They're pioneering, forward thinking. You know, always what's next.
Fair.
And
I don't agree, but I see your point.
But I just don't think Considered was any of those things.
Like for me, I feel like it's really picked up popularity in the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
It seems like, it almost seems it's like top of the list for desirability for like certain types of people into product.
Facts.
And it almost seems like it's like real like product people. Do you not think it was almost too ahead of its time in that sense? Like almost 20, 30.
I just don't think product 2000s. Like that could ever be considered ahead of its time. It's like it's behind of its time.
I don't know.
You're gonna get some hate for that.
I know. But it's no secret. I'm not a Considered fan.
Fair. Fair.
And much to the same vein, like it always, I always scratch my head when Nike go back to like the 70s or that really early stuff and really put energy into it. I always think, why are you putting energy into it? You've got no provenance there. Like zero provenance there.
Give me an example. What kind of models like?
Like your
You like the collaboration with Bodhi? Do you like that? The Astro.
No, I see its place. I see its place.
I think that's more of it. Yeah.
But all the pre-air models, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So early 80s, 70s stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like Adidas have got that era a lot. That is their sweet spot, right? Samba. well, name anything, they all look the same. that is their
they are not the views of the podcast.
No, these views are my own. But that's their lane, right?
Yeah.
That's what they do best. That's what they're, that is. And then
But don't you think that heritage has a place at some
no,
point?
but why would you put energy into any of that when your era from like 87 on 87
That
through the
golden
90s
era,
is
kind of.
crazy. Like the energy you're putting into something back there where you have no provenance and you really going up against it. Like if you're going to choose a battle, you wouldn't you wouldn't really choose it there because it's such a stronghold for Adidas.
I can see it. I mean,
same as
yeah, go on.
Adidas would never go up against an Air Max 1, an Air Max 9,
Yeah.
and all these iconic models from that era.
Yeah.
Because, the challenge is insurmountable, isn't it?
I see where you're going with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's an interesting
Like,
one.
for nostalgic sake, do a little thing here and there.
Yeah.
But just when there's a lot of energy goes into it,
You're not with it.
I'm just like, can't you just put the energy on the stuff that...
No, I hear you. I hear you on this. I see what you're saying. I feel different, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't mind some of the concert stuff. I'm pretty not.
He doesn't even wear trainers anymore.
Margella guy.
Yeah.
Love the split toe shoes.
Presto guy, yeah?
Yeah, I don't mind a Presto. Sure.
Presto guy?
Yeah, I like a Presto.
You like a Presto,
I like
yeah.
a Presto, yeah. Yeah. Some great colours in Footlookers, like back in the day. So yeah.
Oh, those original stuff was just...
Yeah, next level.
Yeah.
Galaxy one's sick. Really, really sick. Slip on shoe, man. Great.
What would you say some of your favourite Nike sneakers were growing up? Like colourways, silhouettes?
95 OG Neon, like just...
Yeah, it's a classic.
It's like you had a
classic.
Rolex basically if you had that on your feet essentially. Like
What are they called on the street?
110. But then obviously different age groups say different things. Like Pete will say the same as well. We'll say the TN. This
Never
that,
been a
blah, blah,
110,
blah.
brother.
I think it's an age thing, isn't it?
Never been a 110, bro. It doesn't matter what your age is. It's never been a 110.
But it was 110 at one point.
No, that's just what some youngers call it.
But I don't know, man.
No, TN's the 110.
That was by the time the TN was coming up. I'm sure the TN wasn't even £110.
You know...
No, but but the 95 was 95, 99.
Not when we. Maybe not when
in
we.
95.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
how does he?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's different. Yeah. But I hear what you're saying, yeah. I definitely, because I just was like,
What
You're not
are we
sure?
on the 110 score? Are we 3-1 in favour of 95?
what? Franklin was calling it.
In favour of the TN being the 110.
Franklin was calling it 110, obviously.
95. 90, no 110.
Sorry,
95.
Franklin was calling it TN 110, right?
Yes.
Who else was calling it 110? FD?
FD, myself.
FD calls it TN 110?
Yeah.
You convinced him, bro. There's no way.
Unsolicited.
He's been hanging around with Magdi too
Yeah,
much.
there's no way.
yeah. He's got a good educator around him in
There's
Magdi,
no
to be
way.
fair. Yeah.
I'm still going to call 95 to 110, to be fair.
Yeah.
People in Liverpool call it 110.
Yeah, man.
Maybe not people in Ramsey, but people in Liverpool.
Something went missing in translation.
Listen,
definitely.
Ramsey is rural. There's absolutely no reason for me to, if anything's going to filter out all the way to rural Ramsey. But I know a 110 is a TN.
No. 90, MX 90 infrareds, those are huge.
Yeah,
like,
Your favourite.
crazy.
That was the first shoe that really, burned in my memory bank when I was a kid. Yeah.
Just the colours were just, it was so simple, so great. It's like, absolutely
It was the
incredible.
colour jumped off the shelf, the visible air.
Yeah, no, next
Yeah.
level. There was a shoe that, there was a couple of shoes that my mum and my aunt and her sister used to buy me and my cousin, like matching. And one of them was a Nike Cross Trainer Spectre, I believe.
Spectre, okay.
Yeah, really, really good shoe.
Yeah.
That was insane. Like,
Cross trainers, but they were
That line,
popular.
yeah.
There was a lot of them.
that line was
Yeah.
sick. It was
I
really,
remember
really
having
sick.
one or two of them as a kid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really, really good. It reminds me of All Sports or First Sport when it was like in the N1 Centre kind of times. Like, really, really sick. Like, you just go there.
Big boy sports shops back
Trust
in
me,
the day, yeah.
serious sports shops. Serious sports shops. But yeah, just reminds me of like time you see air and you get excited because it's like, damn, like this looks insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
You see it on the wall, but the price point's always crazy. But yeah.
Right, so do we want to talk about what you got what you brought for us to show. Seeing as we've touched on a cold wall earlier.
We got some exclusive heat on the podcast. Some samples, some unreleased 95, some 110s, if you will, people.
First person to hit me up and be like, "Yo, Will, can you get some pictures for me?" was actually Reese.
So yeah, you know what? But like that shows the hunger.
Yeah.
I'm hungry for that
Have
exclusive.
these been on the feed?
I was the first person to
Have these been on the
post
cake?
it.
These have been on the cake feed, have they?
Yeah.
Years ago.
Yeah.
So,
Safe.
I must have gained maybe at least 15, 20 followers off the back of Reese posting.
jeez, come on. That's what we're talking about.
Crazy.
So this is Air Max 95 Coral Studios. Coral Studios by Ish Traore.
Yeah.
And it's in essence it's a creative agency.
Yeah, creative agency.
And the aim of it is to raise I'd say a sub aim of it is to raise awareness of like coral being what's the
bleaching,
yeah. Coral bleaching and coral just being like impacted and affected by like pollution and like
exactly
kind of like ultimately being more conscious
yeah.
about what you do and what you put out into the environment.
Definitely.
So the first one when did it release?
17?
17.
Yeah.
I did want to say 17.
Yeah.
And I think
17,
this is from memory, so there'll be some Air Max 95 super fan who'll no doubt correct us. But I believe it released exclusively at Lapstone and Hammer in like Massachusetts, in like a state not far from New York in the US, and it was limited to so many pairs. But there was also the ability to create the colorway on Nike ID.
Yeah.
So there's like quite a few ID pairs floating about, but I believe the original 1.0 was like really quite limited. It was like just a classic like nubuck synthetic 95 construction, which everyone knows and loves. This is the 2.0 with like a full leather and mesh construction, meant to come out in
2021.
2021.
Yeah, 2021.
And it's obviously it's on the back burner.
Yeah, it's on the back burner.
It's on the back burner.
It's on the back burner.
Yeah, it's on the back burner for now.
I think it was like
absolute knowledge, by the way, Reese.
Nah, come on, Reese.
You came with it. That was an absolute bomb you've dropped.
I don't mean 95s. I don't mean 95s.
Came in. There's also that really famous picture of like a billboard picture of Joe LaPuma like wearing them.
He loves them, man. He's obsessed with them.
He does.
It's a good shoe though, and I've got a friend.
I'll try and convince Luke to do some B-roll footage when we finish filming.
I've got a friend in Miami who's still got a pair my size.
First one.
Yeah, and I've been begging him to sell us them. Like occasionally he'll like throw a story on, he'll show them. I'll just be like, "Do you not want to sell us them yet?" And I'm like, I'm not really chasing shoes right now.
But that is a pair.
But that's a pair I'd love to wear.
Yeah, 100. It was funny though. He said like the second pair he listened to a lot of the UK with like considering to put the leather in because I was talking about wear and how long you'd be able to like actually kind of wear through them because nubuck is great, but it's like there's a lot of care for the shoe, man. You just want to wear it. But yeah, it's incredible, man. He does a lot of, they do a lot of like great things. They had like some tees that went on like Mr. Porter as well. Like I said, the white jacket that turns like white after a while. Their like use of colour is just really amazing. And obviously the coral, just kind of like.
How to your knowledge, how many of these are kicking about?
That I don't know.
Not many.
Yeah, no. I know me and Lucian. That's I know me and Lucian.
What size is Lucian?
Lucian is you're 11.
I think you've probably got the closest one to me. And these wouldn't fit.
Yeah, Lucian's an 11. Yeah. Yeah, Lucian's at 11.
I hope they come out.
Never mind, Bob.
I think, to be fair...
Never mind.
In recent times, like, let's say in the last 5 years or so, these and the 110 95s, probably, like, some of the best ones. And that was probably, like, the first time I'd worked on don't work on it, but I was literally there physically for, like, a... what is this thing called? Snkrs pass, basically, at football show. I literally was like, yo, please, can I get a pair? This and that other. Like, I messaged so many times because I was like, you're calling them the 110, like, you've got like a £10 kind of reference on it as well. It's like, I have to have this shoe. Like, it would be crazy not to. Like, it'd be mad. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if you, where do you put that 110 in your. I know you got the Para one, so that's a bit.
I think I remember Reese got seeded that.
Yeah, of course he did. Oh, no, you did something for it as well, actually.
Yeah, I work with Nike on that, on a campaign around that.
You did.
I think they came through for Joel as well.
Yeah. Joel was on the campaign.
Where would I put that? It's definitely up there, being like UK centric. For it being wearable, I don't think it's the most wearable shoe.
What colours or?
Colours and the 110, the like 110 and the pound note text on the tongue. I'm so specific about footwear now that I'm just like, unless if it's not
turned into a snob.
I know.
Yeah,
Margella gets one Margella and he changes up.
Crazy. Come on.
I got the receipts. I was wearing Margella. I was wearing Margella 2013. Go back on the Insta. Go back. But like it's up there. But like wearability is important.
Yeah, I hear you.
To be fair,
I hear you. Do you know what? It could be argued, but 95 is a great shoe, but it's not always the easiest shoe to wear. You know,
It's not always the comfiest.
yeah,
Like the heel is crazy.
they're not. They're not.
I can tell this is a good pair to wear though.
yeah.
They're not comfy.
Yeah. No,
But you have to
but
wear.
they
it
look
to
sick
love
though.
it.
They do look sick.
So good.
To be fair, I was gonna wear a pair. Because I got the Comedy Gossam ones. And that's,
Yeah.
to be fair, that's probably one of my favourite ones.
And I was wearing the wrong size of that for at least like 2 years just before I gave up.
because they're wearable.
Yeah,
and they're cool.
What colour have you got?
I got the black and I had the grey, but I sold the grey.
Yeah.
I've had all three through my hands.
Yeah, I had the
I've kept
black, That rookie mistake of thinking the sizing on DSM is UK, but it's actually US.
Ah,
Yeah,
We've all been there.
yeah,
rookies.
we'll suffer there.
We've all been there.
That's it. Just power through. What size range do you say you go for in shoes again?
UK 3.5. UK 13.
The full range.
The full range. The full range. That's hilarious.
Whatever sells for the most.
Man. But yeah, these are sick.
Right, we need to talk upcoming
Let's go.
upcoming activation
Alright,
with
cool.
Cult Classics.
Big up my line manager
So what?
Lou. Big up Jonathan, Robbie. They did an amazing job on this.
So here we have the 2016 Kith.
Was it that long ago?
Art Basel.
Was it that long ago?
Art Basel
exclusive.
Air Force One linen that is coming back as part of the Cult Classics. Have you seen the new one?
No, not in hand. No, not in hand. I've actually even never touched this one before. To be fair, now I think about it, I've only seen it on.
So this, you're gonna get some more knowledge here. When this originally released, was this a Code JP?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Oh,
Yeah, it was.
oh,
Correct.
Yeah, I still got it.
was.
So
Correct.
For
Taught you well.
for me, like
I think it was around the turn of millennium. Would it be early 2000, 2001 maybe?
01, I think.
01,
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
So I think for me,
Which is a time where Code JP was just
Yeah,
at
flames.
banger after banger.
this,
Flames.
And there's one or two Code JPs in this Cult Classics, right?
The Ivory Snake.
Yeah.
We actually
Yeah,
dropped
that's
that. That was
that's a good pair.
It's a
I
very
like
good
those.
pair.
I like those.
very, very good pair. Yeah, we dropped that for the US. I was trying to get it sorted for the UK, but the units were doing whatever the units were doing,
But
unfortunately.
for me, in right, if he sees this, he'd be saying, "For fuck's sake, man." He can't go along with anything. But when things are reissued for the first time, like say you've got the initial release, so the initial release, for argument's sake, let's say 01 was for the Code JP linen when it first released. Then when it comes back again, I think there needs to be like a grace period for like reissues, regardless of if it was territory specific or if you gave Ronnie Feig the opportunity to do a Kith exclusive.
What would that time limit look like to you, though?
I don't know. I don't necessarily know what the right time limit is, but for me, in my like frame of reference, it's too recent to bring it back, and for me, it's been diluted. It's diluted in that sense, yeah. I think because I almost think brands are racing to the bottom these days to release things because there's that little new silhouettes and new ideas kicking about, or it takes that long to produce a shoe, it's too much money. There's like a lot of variables that would stop a brand like pursuing a new silhouette.
Do you think are we getting into parallels with Hollywood here, where they're just just remaking films because they know it's going to make bank,
That's interesting. I never thought
Like,
of
rather than
that before.
push new stuff?
They're
just being a bit safe.
There'll be like plenty of people who'll disagree, and obviously on the last podcast I was really wanting the Stash as Night collaboration to reissue, regardless what the silhouette
Saw him
was.
comment actually.
Oh, did you comment on that?
Commented on one of the.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. When you guys were talking about the.
That's
MX
nice. I didn't realise, to be fair.
95.
But,
Again, you broke down the materials really well, talking about Storm Fit and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm still into stuff.
He does bits.
Yeah,
he does bits.
He does.
But
when he's not wearing Margiela, there.
yeah.
But for me, I feel it's.
Oh, you get him in a pair of Nikes, you see what he really does. Yeah.
I don't know. I just think you could have left this another 2 or 3 years.
Is that the gatekeeper in you saying that?
No, because you know what? I'm not going to buy this shoe.
No, but in fairness to Reese, I don't think he's got anything to gatekeep in this instance.
Yeah, fair.
He has no tie to the original because it was before.
Before I was 6 years old when that came out. I was a kid. And to be fair, I see like people like PG knows, like massive Air Force One collector, and he's raving about it.
Yeah, he's going crazy.
Maybe
I think there's a degree that this is such a popular colorway, especially with Air Force One fans. And when it did come back here, it wasn't readily available, and I think probably a lot of fans were like, "Oh, you've killed us! Like, why did you make it so hard to get?" So I think there's with this colorway particular, maybe there was just the call for it to be more readily available was too much for
the community.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to be fair, I see it from both sides.
The people that couldn't afford to be at Art Basel that year, bro.
Well, I wasn't there. I get it. It's just.
How did you get it?
For the record, I wasn't living up in Miami either.
Right, cool.
But my boy Michael,
cigar in hand.
My boy Michael was, and he kindly brought me a pair back.
That's really nice.
That's nice.
That's really nice of him.
Big shout out to Michael, aka Runner Wally. You might know him. Online photographer.
I'm familiar.
Yeah, top guy.
That is nice.
Yeah, he was. Top guy. Got me a pair. Brought them home.
When was the last time you wore them?
Quite recently, actually.
Okay,
I have. You can see I've taken joy in wearing them a bit. They're a sick shoe. And again, it's one of them that always gets comments. Especially if you're an Air Force fan, you're like, oh yeah, that's a great colorway.
I've got a soft spot for Forces. I don't love all pairs, but controversial, that V-Lone pair that released at 1948 with the orange. I know it's a reissue. I know it's a reissue colorway of a previous Air Force One, but they were fucking good. That was a.
I think for me, one of my
good shoe
favorites is the Elite ones.
Oh,
okay, yeah.
Have you got those?
Yeah.
How are they holding up? Because I'd like them, but I don't want to.
They're great. I got no issue with them at all. They're amazing.
Okay, I might try and get a black pair of them.
Amazing shoe, man. So good. Leather's great. That buckle's amazing. I think there was
they're super good looking shoe.
Yeah, no, for sure. Then there was on the other side, little toot for the Mayor Sneakers team when they did the Sneakers Day Air Force One. I thought that was quite a nice shoe, good material, quite delicate. Obviously, I'm sure probably hard to clean.
I didn't like the original version of it, but from a nostalgic point of view, I like the dot swoosh 404s.
Yo,
they're so cool, man.
I can't lie. It's been a minute since I was like, I'm kind of upset I didn't get this. Because everyone was like, oh, they're trash. So in my head, I was like, yes, I'm going to be able to pick them up. Got on that website, got on the Snkrs app, and it was not there at all. It was gone.
That's the 404 era without the swoosh.
This is a question that you don't have to answer. But do you not get the priority access? Do you not get the access to the VIP suite?
Nah, not like that. Yeah, not on the app. Like you can't.
The one that they give because there's a platform where they give their athletes, right?
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, there's a platform where they give there's a website they go to.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
And they can log in early and
I didn't know that.
and request stuff.
I wish I knew, man, because that annoyed me. I can't even lie to you.
Yeah, there was. I thought they were a cool thing.
Yeah, no, it's good. Yeah, really good. And then when you wear it, the color changes a little bit as well.
Yeah, iridescent.
Yeah,
has a vibe to it. Yeah,
good. So nice. Good. What we got here?
A topic we wanted to cover. Topic close to my heart. The state of GRs. For anyone who doesn't know what GRs is, that's general release. That's stuff that doesn't get a song and dance. It just it releases every day on Nike. Product arrives, product goes. What do you think about the current state of GR product?
I think state of GR product for Nike for me is always not always in the last. I haven't been there forever, but I'd say in the last 3 years has been really strong. I think there's been some serious sleepers. Like I just bought the other day a pair of Air Forces, patent white with like a green swoosh on it, translucent as well on the sole. And it's just there, innit? And then also there's the Air ACG Explorade. Those are really nice as well.
That was cool.
The off-white colorway.
Yeah.
Really, really nice. So like, yeah. Then again, DN is a conversation that, I mean, if you're not talking about DN, I don't know what you're talking about right now. It's a great shoe that should be on the shelves and you should be able to just pick up. And I think it's ticking that box, you know?
So when I maybe not the first the second podcast we like briefly touched on the DN, and we like I love that Supreme pair. I love that colour block on that Supreme pair, the black with
shock.
The Supreme and the green detailing was sick. And then obviously I always question why is the market flooded immediately with product. But like from being out and about and seeing people wearing it, I think it's a good looking shoe on foot. Yeah. It's not a shoe that's necessarily going to go with like everything I wear stylistically, but I can see the need for it in the marketplace, and it seems like it's been well received.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, no, it's a fun shoe. It's like, again, it feels nostalgic. Like we said, all sport, first sport, going to
100%. Yeah, I mean, it's the flagship Air Max for 20. I mean, we do this every year. You know, sometimes they hit, sometimes they miss.
Yeah,
I think this one's a hit.
Big hit for me.
I think the Pulse last year was a miss.
That wasn't my shoe. I won't lie. Yeah, the Pulse wasn't my shoe.
But this is a much better.
Have you got a pair of these yet?
I haven't yet.
You think you'll pick a pair up?
I've got two.
I would like to. Yeah, I'd like the the color. Will's actually got a colorway. He was on his feet over the weekend. Was it?
That wasn't my feet. You know, that was.
Oh, it was your boy's feet, wasn't it?
What was his name? It's Rob Boyd's mate Stormy. He had grey.
It was like a wolf grey and an orange safety orange pair.
Yeah, gradient like
They're loaded up on. They are loaded up on
really
on Nike at the moment. They're dropping any minute.
Yeah.
I like that colorway. But what's the colorway I really like, Luke? Is it All Day?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that one.
Could you
love that one?
you pass that Jordan? I just want to feel. I just want to feel them.
It's a high OG, so it should be good.
So we were obviously just on the subject of like Art Basel Miami releases. So a few years ago, I couldn't name the year. There was a rust pink and an igloo Jordan 1 that released exclusively, which go for like dumb money online now, like 10k probably for a dead stock pair. Some of the rarest Jordans that probably came out in the past 10 years, like Eclipse and Trophy Room, just because they were so limited in where they released and how many numbers there were. And when I first saw this, that was my immediate thought. You like
reference.
Yeah. I think the retails may be a little bit steep. It's like 185.
185 for Jordan 1's absolutely crazy.
It's time wearing, man.
Yeah.
But cheap anymore. It's crazy.
Like I think the color.
It is crazy.
The colorway is decent, and
it feels like 2 years ago they were like 115.
Yeah.
Shattered backboards like 109, and the flat hours.
5 years ago, that shoe would have sold out quick.
Oh, we
like Tiffany Jordan 1. Who wouldn't be clamoring for that?
Yeah.
I mean, Luke, we've said it before. Luke's over Jordan 1s, big time.
I'm not. I think I've just like.
I'm not. I mean, I think this is really.
I am. I think I'm. To be fair, was I ever in love with them?
Yeah.
If it had a Union tab on the side,
I'd wear them.
Yeah, you would. Yeah.
If it had Travis Scott on the side, on the side, I'd resell them.
I don't know.
Yeah. He is what he is.
Bad man.
If Michael Jordan wore them and they were authentic retro, I'd take a photo and then flip them.
Just so touching back on the DN, have you been privy to anything you can share, like the plans for it throughout the year? We speculated that we may see some collab work beyond Supreme. Maybe some different material options or versions.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know of any other collabs, but even if I did, I'm not at liberty to say, unfortunately.
God damn it.
But I can say that, again, I love the shoe personally. I think even without like...
Okay, let's say this. What would you like to see...
Personally?
What would you like to see the DN's journey look like throughout the year?
Yeah, I would like to see... obviously, I love this. It's like Air Max Deluxe.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's the point. That's why I like them.
I would love to see like a flip on this. Like, I know like this brings like
maybe one of the old prints underneath. Use the patterns. Yeah,
sure. Like maybe some hairy suede. Like, do you know what I mean? Like some really different flavor going on for sure. I'd love to see that.
And if you could pick cherry pick one collaborator,
Yeah, that's a very good question.
who would you task to put their spin on the DN?
Pick one collaborator. I think because they haven't missed when it comes to Air Max, I think Power. I think Power would be interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Power would be very, very interesting.
You know what? I think given the air unit, I think I could see that.
Yeah.
Something very like abstract pop art.
Yeah.
Who would I?
There's enough space on the shoe to do something very pop art.
You know what? Maharishi. I think Maharishi do a very good job on it.
That would be interesting actually.
Okay.
Who would you go for?
Oh yeah, because they would do a madness with. Yeah, do you know what? They could do a madness with the pattern.
Yeah,
on
you
there
don't
as well.
you don't have to go with an existing collaborator
Yeah.
from the past. You could pick someone completely new to work on it.
This will never happen, but I would love to see what Capital would do with the DL.
I was actually thinking that.
Yeah.
It would never happen, but I mean, you never know. But yeah, it'd be very interesting to see what Capital would do.
I think we briefly touched on it. Maybe like rather than bring back the 95, maybe see a stash DN. But also like Stussy as well. They've had some pretty good back catalogue of collabs. So between one of them,
Yeah.
but I'll tell you what I would like to see.
Go on.
I'd like to see team editions.
Oh yeah,
football team editions. Oh, God,
United.
I nearly said soccer. I nearly said soccer.
I could definitely see. Someone
Football
playing...
team. I mean, the badge is just primed for that.
It
So
is.
like this would be the Chelsea DN or whatever. I think they're leaving next year, aren't they?
Everyone's leaving. It looks like.
Yeah.
I can see this like someone playing with some text or something like that. That would be really interesting with this upper. I think there's a lot to play with the shoe, man.
Yeah, I'd like to see team editions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that'd be quite good.
Barca pair.
Yeah, Barca. Yeah.
Real Madrid.
Yeah, Barca
No, we couldn't do that. Could we?
Yeah, I know. I'm throwing teams out there.
Silly
Brentford,
sometimes.
Brentford, Sunderland.
So silly sometimes. What else have we got here?
We've got V2K.
V2K. Yeah.
Cushlon sole. Love a bit of Cushlon. Very comfortable. I know that's like taken from a Vomero mostly.
Yeah, it looks like a Vomero's met an M2K Techno.
Yeah.
Nice little hairy suede. Along mudguard. Great shoe. Yeah. Can't go wrong with it. It does feel a bit sleek. My wide foot maybe shouldn't be for this. You know?
Is it a women's silhouette? Yeah.
Women's, yeah. But you can get it for men's, but yeah, my wide foot probably won't do this shoe any justice. No one wants to see that. Yeah.
Another
I like
huge
this.
success.
Feels like an Olympic shoe.
Vomero's, we didn't talk about it, but a big year, obviously Olympics, and Nike have to navigate advertising things around the Olympics
They always do fun
very
stuff when
cleverly,
it happens as well,
yeah. So I'm looking forward to what they're going to do this year.
I'm sure.
Gold's always a polarizing one, especially when it's like a shiny gold.
Remember those MX1 liquid gold?
Yeah. That was a moment. Yeah,
people went hard for
well.
those.
I think Clint.
Top comfiest shoe.
Yeah,
they're comfy.
Yeah, number one.
They are comfy. They are. They were sold as the last
Well,
one, but they are comfy.
We've got them both here.
I've never had a
These,
P.
I sort of see these as like head to head. You're either a Vomero guy or you're a P6000.
I'm a Vomero head.
Yeah, I've never had a P6000 before.
I haven't either.
Okay.
Wait, I don't think they go up to my size.
Well,
Really? Is that your
Pine
size
Green,
right
Spring Green are available now on Nike.com.
there?
Get your
Let's
pair.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Swipe up.
Yeah.
Swipe up.
Yeah,
Swipe up to buy now.
Yeah.
This is special.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's interesting.
I think the sole unit's great.
Could I? Sorry, Will. Can I dip, Will?
Yeah.
Can I dip, Luke? Caps there.
Is this
We're called to end it.
time for you? Okay.
Yeah,
Are you sure?
let's sign out.
Sign out.
Okay.
All right, that covers GRs.
Get back in. Get back in.
Let's go.
Yeah, that covers the state of GRs, but generally think it's in a healthy place. I mean, I think it's always in a healthy space.
Yeah.
But the trouble is, people are just looking at that pinnacle product all the time.
Yeah, true.
I find my real gems in the GR, and I enjoy sifting through the new releases and finding those gems
Of course.
that people otherwise wouldn't really give a toss about. But I think it's always been in a good spot.
Yeah. It's solid. I think recently more people are like appreciating GRs as well, which is nice to see.
Yeah,
Definitely.
you get much more. You get many more deals in the GRs as well.
Yeah, it's true. Little membership.
And you know, money is tight at the minute.
Yeah.
This Pinnacle stuff is expensive.
Of course. But yeah, I'm all for GRs. Great selection you guys have here as well. Solid.
Thanks,
you,
man.
thank you for joining.
Well, I think that
be a pleasure.
wraps us up for
so
this
much,
episode. Will,
It's been great.
thank you very much.
Guys.
Boom,
Bye, guys.
Whoa.
It's always
Going for the high 10. I was stealing the 5. Oh,
my brother.
Shout out TT
Yeah.
Liquor for hosting me. This is it's been
TT
Will
London. We've had a name change.
Storm. Oh, TT. Sorry, Steve.
And if you haven't been TT for a while, get down here. It's the spot now.
Everyone knows who you are. You're famous, Will. But where can
Yeah.
we find you on the socials? If not,
HOS across everything, I think. Yeah. Also, I got a TikTok. I don't really use it. Instagram, Twitter, YouTube coming soon. Maybe, who knows? Maybe
Okay.
I'll even do like what's that thing called?
A little collaboration.
Yeah. Little collaboration. Maybe I'll do a little newsletter for the days I couldn't write at the drop date. But yeah.
Nice.
spot on.
Guys, we'll catch you next time. Will, thanks very much.
Thank you guys for having me.
Peace.
Man.
Peace out.
Peace.